Okay, what's going on, everyone? How we doing? How we doing? Welcome back for another edition of the Daily Shag. Not so daily, but it's definitely as many times a week as I can muster the courage and the strength to do so. So today, uh, we got a little dose of behind the curtain, if you will. We were able to take a little peek. I have not really looked through these yet. I've seen some stuff through other people's channels, and I was busy at work, so I couldn't actually thumb through them yet. But I have some special guests I'm going to bring on because you guys know them, and they're just awesome people anyway. So we're going to talk about them tonight and try and familiarize ourselves with what is going on here, and of course, bring you the best damn commentary on the internet as we usually do. But yeah, before we get into and bring people on, I just do want to thank everyone for joining the stream. Let me look at my comments because I'm boomering hard right now. Nick Weiser stopped in and said, "See you in a half an hour." All right, Nick, we're looking forward to seeing you. And Magitech Mag saying, "Hello, how you doing, Mags? Good to see you as always." Derp Nader is here. Friday Night Shags, FNS. Okay, that'll be a new thing. What's going on? The Stig's legless cousin finally got a proper notification. That's what I like to see. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Bearded Gamer 88 says, "Let's go." I agree. We should get going. We should get going with this. Nick Weiser saying, "Hail Magitech Mags, get back to all you in half an hour from the panel." He's finishing up his stream over on his channel. But anyways, I'll bring all you guys in. Not even at one at a time, just flood you in here. Good to see y'all. What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Interesting evening, huh?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's pretty boring overall.
Yeah, in your bed with a warm glass of milk.
No, I didn't know. Milk is bad. That's bad for your stomach.
We woke up culture for this.
It was funny because you're like, I don't know, man, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm like, no, come on, let's rally. And then you're like, all right, I'm gonna get out of bed now.
I was watching that show Peripheral. I was finishing the episode from last night. So,
is it any good?
Is it good?
It started out really well. It felt very Westworldy. Westworld, is that a word? Westworldy. It felt very Westworldy, like the first season, right? And then it did what a typical Nolan and Joy show does, and it fell apart. And it just fell apart. It just fell apart. Like tonight. I was like, oh man.
So now we're starting.
Know, Chloe Moretz,
Moretz, yeah, from Kick-Ass. Yeah.
She posted on Twitter that she was back. Apparently, she got suspended for something, but nobody knows what it was.
Does
anybody know what she got?
Well, did she get suspended, or did she just leave?
I don't know.
Decide to announce that she's back. Because there's a lot of celebrities who have.
From all the different responses and everything, it looked like that she got some kind of a timeout or something for something that
she got banned on the run.
Huh.
Is Peripheral the one? Is that on Amazon?
I think
so.
So.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
It's that virtual reality. She's in a different.
Well, actually, it's not even. Yeah, she's not in virtual reality. She's essentially via data transferring to another version of our world, like what they call a stub, and it's essentially just an offshoot of our world. And they advance their world based on the things that they learn in our world, and they also mediate or remediate the things that are happening in their world based on the things they were able to discover about the other stubs that they're able to encounter. So it's interesting. I actually am going to do a review on it on my channel this week, and it's not going to end well. But, a little spoiler alert there, guys.
But is it the long and short? Is it would you say it'd be worth someone's time to
Oh yeah, no. I mean, the first 6 episodes probably easily. Okay. I mean, it's like you're hooked. I mean, the first okay. So most people were familiar with Westworld, right? Before the show came out, you'd seen the film with Brenner in it and all that, right? The old Brenner, and you probably maybe read the book or whatever.
Yep.
or books. So, and you know, it was a fully fleshed out world, and you were hooked and engaged in that show right away. Same thing here. I mean, you were. These books, Peripheral. It's called The Peripheral. They're so well fleshed out that you can't help but go right with the material. So I don't know what's going so wrong with what happened in this last episode, but we'll see. You know, and again, it is unfortunately a girls kick ass kind of a thing, but the guys get to kick ass too. So, you know, and I don't normally curse on shows. So,
that's what happens when you keep them up past 6 p.m.
It is. It's true. I say bad words, you know, but at least I don't put my hair up in an unmanly bun.
I'm not going to let you bully me, man.
I'm not bullying you. I'm just saying.
So how was your evening, Shagsy?
Yeah, Shagsy.
It was pretty good. Oh, my God. Enough of that. My day and night was good. I'm like messing with links and stuff here because trying to get this right. But I'm posting the Rumble link in chat. I did, but there wasn't like a functional link, so hopefully this one works. That's for you guys. If you guys want to watch over at Rumble, we'll be on Rumble as well.
Simul help, simul stream, simul.
I did
simulcast.
Hell yeah. I actually did my very first training session tonight at the gym. So I'm like, my legs are weak. I need to get my strength back. It was leg day for sure. But
are you training or somebody training you?
Someone's training me. It's been so long since, like, I used to work out all the time because I was a college athlete. But then I did nothing for a while, and then I had kids, and then I really did like nothing. And then, you know, I just finally said, all right, I got to get back in the groove and get my strength back. So what's up, Comics? Good to see you, man.
Oh, hey, there's the boss man.
How you guys doing?
Good. We've been doing a slow roll intro here, but I'm sure people are interested in getting into the juicy parts. But
yeah, like we're gonna your nickname's gonna stick until you take down the man bun, Shagsy.
All right. Enough of you. Enough of you. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Now you
peer pressure.
You get to all call me Aquaman now.
Proper masculinity, ladies.
But you know, if you're going to go the Aquaman route, then people are going to expect you to start dressing like Jason Momoa is now, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you're gonna need to get jacked, bro. Like, just go for it.
That's why I'm going to the gym. I'm getting Jacksonated, man. I'm getting my third shot of the Jacksonation.
That's what I've been doing, man. I've been going to the gym to get Jacksonated.
Feels good. Yeah.
You should try just eating livers. Apparently that works.
Yeah. Yeah,
just eat liver. But it has to be baby livers. I don't think
I mean, you just need liver and I don't know, like $12,000 worth of steroids.
Yeah, I was going to say that guy just got called out for being on roids.
Stick of butter a day. Isn't that what Melanie does?
Yep. Well, you know what? She's 100. Yeah, but see, that's part of the plan, man. That is that's keto, man. That's the keto psycho, stuff. Yeah. Ketosis will keep you from getting the diabetes.
Is that true?
Well,
and you gotta say it like diabetes.
Diabetes.
I'm not overwhelming, and I have diabetes.
I'm not
part of that. I saw there was a thing here about 3 or 4 years ago. All the CW people were doing it. It was a coffee that had butter in the recipe.
Yeah, I have keto. Yeah, I do keto coffee. Yeah.
Why don't you just have cream in your coffee then? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
It's similar, but it's not the pure fat. The nice thing about a nice creamy unsalted stick of butter, well, you don't put the whole stick in there, but you put that in your coffee. It's just a decent pat of butter, like a tablespoon of butter instead of cream, and it's bueno. Plus, I do actually keto powder coffee. So like I have keto, then I add like my mocha or my vanilla keto powder, and then I put the butter in there and just kind of.
You mean you don't use Coffee Brand coffee?
You know what? Jeremy almost talked me into that tonight. He was completely hammered, and the dude still was grifting like a champ, man.
Stop. The coffee came up every few minutes.
And it started out as a gag because, Elon was late.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
And then he was late, and then he was very late. And Jeremy was like, well, what do I do here? So he was basically vamping, and then it turned into a bit. So...
Wait, so the quartering was supposed to go on I'm sorry, Elon was supposed to go on the quartering show?
No, he was waiting on Elon to
drop the thing.
Drop.
Oh.
I mean, to the point where people were like asking, like, "Where's Elon?" Hashtag was it
where's
Clinton?
Hillary?
Where's Hillary?
He was an hour late from when he said he was going to drop everything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Jeremy had already been streaming. He started the live stream like 30-40 minutes before it was supposed to have dropped, I think.
Okay.
So I mean,
then
he had to
Elon
fill
said,
like 2 hours.
we're checking some things here in 40 minutes, and then in 40 minutes passed, and then it was an hour and 20 minutes, and still hadn't come on, and then finally it started. But all that time he's in there going, he's just basically filling for time, and didn't have anybody else on his stream, so he's just grifting his coffee all night.
Oh, it was hardcore grift, bro. It was epic. I mean, and it was nonstop pluggage. I could not believe it. Like,
I got to give him a hard time because I gave him a super chat in the spirit of the grift, promoting my channel, and I don't think he read it.
He got to all of them. No, he got to all of them later. He didn't get them unless you were dropping like a 50 or a 100. He was like not reading it right away. I mean, early on he was, but
he said he was going to read all of them, and then I was there till the end, and I didn't see it.
He had considerably less booze earlier in the evening. Let's just put it that way.
By the time the ladies were on, I think he was too far gone.
Yeah, he had like 25,000 people in there at one point, though.
Yeah, no, he was
really
close to 30K.
Yeah,
he was crushing it. Yeah,
and he was taking everybody away from you guys tonight, Comics.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was cheering it. He's like, woohoo! He just beat Friday Night Tights. It was funny as hell.
Oh my god.
Well, and his subscriber count is getting close. I don't know. Did he
just tied Timmy.
Tied. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1.4.
Sorry, Jason. I didn't mean to stomp you, bro.
No, that's him. That's fine.
But we're gonna hit that tonight, guys. We're at 1.5 million tonight.
Yeah, we should.
I'd be fine with 2,200. You know,
right.
I'm 30 away. I just want to get to there.
Well, I'm a whole 2 subs away from hitting 10,900.
Nice, dude.
Nice.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Wow.
I've been sitting at 10 for a while. I mean, it's not like it is a good accomplishment, but it's taken me a while to get to 11.
Yeah.
When I grew up, I want to be comics.
But it would help if I actually created content. So.
That's why I took such a long break, and I'm looking at my sub count. I'm like, you'd go up if you actually did something besides live stream.
I know that's like, no, if I actually felt creative and want to do a video.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to start creating content again without the avatar, simply because there's times where I want to say stuff, but I'm just like too tired to go through the motions of acting out the character.
Yep.
You need an editor.
On top of that, doing all the editing, because at that point, if I just record myself, I could probably just hand it off to Grant.
That's right. Yeah. Grant. Yeah, Grant's a great editor. He's editing 20 videos a week for me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a busy man.
Just give Grant a script. He'll plug it in, and it'll come out in your voice and your avatar.
Oh no, dude! I thought about doing something like that, where it's like that some of the AI stuff.
Yeah,
the AI to do my voice, and
he can totally AI you.
Yeah.
AIU. Oh man.
EIEIO.
So
EIO.
let's get into the juicy parts, guys.
Yes.
I mean, I know some of you have already been talking about it. I know Comics, you guys had touched on FNT.
Yeah, we did.
That's where I started like hearing this stuff, and I was like, you know what, my whole show tonight is gonna be this. So let's just do it. And so I haven't really gone through this. I heard like kind of the beginning as Ryan was kind of going over stuff. But what are your guys' initial like thoughts on all this? I mean, it seemed pretty damning just from like the probably 10 tweets that they went through for me.
Well, he dropped some more stuff. And
do you think that, real quick, do you think the thread is the best way to go through this? I know you guys had put another link in our DM chat, like that may have been better. I couldn't find it though. I was just trying to race in the last 5 minutes.
You mean hanging on?
Yeah, you're probably better off to starting from ground zero and going through all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason has a link to the thread reader. Yeah, because that'll make it a little bit easier to pile drive through without all the noise in the way.
No, I think what Elon did was genius.
Oh yeah,
he did it at 5 o'clock on a Friday night. The mainstream is not going to be able to react to it with their big guns till Monday.
Right,
and this is just night one of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's going to keep going. It's going into a weekend. Journalists hate working on weekends. You know, the White House already finished their take out the trash at about 3 this afternoon.
And Congress is gone.
Yeah,
Same thing with Congress.
Yeah. They're like, right now, they're all like, oh, shit. So, yeah.
Well, Hillary
which is
turned off
funny.
all replies to her tweets tonight.
Yeah, I know.
The funny thing is that literally the New York Times just dropped an article about hate speech on Twitter today.
I saw that
Yeah,
actually.
they literally just dropped that, how hate speech is on the rise on Twitter.
Which
And
is
it's
a
like,
lie.
dude, yeah, well, it is a lie, but again, it's spin. Well, any like minute increase is an increase, right? What they don't do is they tell you, like, if you go to Mastodon, because that's where a lot of the leftists were going to, was Mastodon, completely uncensored. They can ban you from a server, but they can't censor you. And more like N-bombs and all sorts of other racial slurs are getting massively dropped there. But yet Twitter's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
more
always
bombs
is.
than in a Call of Duty lobby.
Yeah.
What did Yoel came out on Masturbator or whatever? I mean Mastodon, and and said, "Oh, this is a threat to my life for the people." I'm like,
basically by putting out the emails,
Yeah.
which were probably their Twitter account emails, right?
Yeah.
How it's putting them in danger. That's like the whole thing they go to.
Yeah, you are.
Just look what they were doing with Kanye when he was on Rogan, or not Rogan, sorry, Alex Jones. It's like, Kanye is a danger. He's gonna cause people to get killed. That's how they justify the censorship, is saying what they are saying is going to get people hurt.
Mhm.
And he's not directly calling for violence. He's definitely saying some vile and stupid crap, but he's not actually calling for direct violence against people.
Right. But Yoel was upset because his name actually got out there instead of being redacted.
Yeah.
They're upset that it's not
him.
redacted, and really they're called receipts. I mean,
Yes.
they
Well, they don't
he's
like
going
being
to
in the
call out the
receipts.
people who did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Yoel, you were one of the ringleaders of censorship. You were essentially colluding with the federal government to violate the First Amendment. So yeah, dude, you're kind of in a little bit of trouble, and so is that vagina chick.
That assumes that anybody acts on this.
I don't know how they don't, dude. This isn't over.
Well,
no, it's not. This is just the beginning.
One of the early tweets gives me a little bit of pause because it did say that both parties had access to this to be able to basically ask for things to be taken down.
Sure. But did you notice that they weren't citing specifics? They weren't elucidating the certain elements of the specific parties, right? Because, if it's Trump's administration, it could be Trump's FBI. Well, we know the FBI is bad news. It could have been Trump's, any of the organizations under Trump. It didn't have to be anybody even coming out of the White House. And even if it was,
I honestly would not be surprised if
I wouldn't
Republicans
either.
made requests as well.
Oh, yeah.
But what I find interesting is, out of the list tonight of what we got in this batch, the only one from the Trump White House was the one questioning Kayleigh McEnany's getting put in timeout because of a particular tweet. It wasn't, hey, can you silence this person over here? Can you take this down from here? It's, hey, what are you doing to our staff?
Right. Well, and what tweet was what tweet was that, Jason, that they were concerned about? Oh, it was the Hunter Biden
laptop story.
It was a New York Times, New York Post thing, but we don't have any specifics, anything else saying that the Republicans were doing the same thing the Democrats were doing. They might have been. I'm not saying
we don't have any proof.
We have multiple days of this possibly.
Yeah, we're going to learn it all.
Not start a victory lap before we find out what our guys were doing too.
Oh yeah, no doubt at all. Yeah.
I say our guys.
It goes back to what I was saying last night, Brian, about it's like when one side does it and the other side decides they're going to do it too.
Yeah, that's a problem, and I hate it.
It's a problem,
right?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be fair about it too. With this, I mean, I know our guys do stuff too. So,
well, what is Trump's favorite thing to say? I know the system is corrupt because I use it.
Yeah.
Shags, pull up Thread Reader, the one that
I just
Culture
sent it
posted
to
in.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a nice clean thread of everything.
Yeah.
There it is.
And that's courtesy of that Jason's quick thinners.
But what we've at least found out so far is that
okay.
there have been massive violations of both the the First Amendment, obviously.
Yeah.
Most likely campaign finance reform and
but Brahma,
probably election rules.
We all know that the Bill of Rights is not absolute.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck you.
That one was insane.
Yeah, I almost came out of my chair at that one.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised by that. Well, our current president has said that a couple of times.
Well, they don't think that the Second Amendment is absolute. So.
Well, he's also said both the First and Second Amendment are not absolute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they need to be reminded that the Second Amendment is there to protect the First.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that reminder is going to come with a little heat sooner rather than later. And I'm not looking forward.
Where does that heat come from, though?
I hope that heat comes in the form of lawsuits.
Right. Like, I mean, that's where my thing is like, okay, all this stuff comes out. It's pretty damning, but like, where does the recourse come from? Because like,
James Woods is suing the federal government.
Good.
Yes.
He's already announced that tonight.
Yeah, he's suing
because they violated his First Amendment rights by colluding with Twitter. You can't really go after Twitter because Twitter doesn't exist in the form that it was when this happened.
But you can go after all the board members and all the parties involved. And that includes Vagina Lady Douche.
Yeah, I was going to say, they need to sue the shit out of Vagina.
Vajayjay?
Yeah,
but you can definitely go after the federal government for this, and somebody like James Wood is loud enough that that'll make some
I'm
noise.
wondering if this is class action level. I mean, this is not necessarily. It doesn't have to stop at James Woods. I mean, you could get a bunch of people who are sitting there going, "This is everybody who got affected, and we're all going to."
Well, everybody,
and they also need to go after YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of the things about Woods is he's actually named in one of these first few tweets.
Yes, he is.
So he has more standing than anybody else that we know of at the moment.
Okay, so let's see.
But that's the entry point, though, because Woods can sit there and said, if it happened to me, it happened to other people, and then it becomes a class action thing at that point.
Right. As long as there's some proof that was the reason those people were banned. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it actually erodes the case if you can't prove who was for this reason, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's right.
So,
okay, so let's read through this real quick. Or if you guys like know of anything I should skip to, you can gladly tell me.
It's only 38 short tweets, so I would read like the first 7 or 8. We can talk about it, and then we can read another 6 or 7 or so.
Okay. What's funny is he skipped over 12 through 15. I mean, he's doing all of this nice, clean setup, and let's set the table. Let's put all the pieces. Screw it. Let's just go to the meat. And he skipped over about 3 or 4.
Yeah,
I think that may have been some showmanship. There may never have been a 13 through 15, and he just wanted to say, okay, let's forget this little stuff. Now let's jump into the meat of it.
Well, again, I mean, it was all the setup, right? I mean, that's what you do. This is the establishment. Okay, these are the circumstances that existed, and this is what happened. So you have to set up the establishment. It's just like a film, and then you move into the meat of the sandwich.
And how many people are finding out about this or seeing this for the first time? I mean, a lot of us have been talking about it. A lot of us are aware of it.
Right.
But there are the normies out there, the people that are out there who have not paid attention to any of this, or they don't care, or it doesn't affect them. So why should I be concerned or whatever? So laying out groundwork at the beginning of all of this sets up the people who need to be brought up to speed, because we know all of this stuff. Let's get to it. But there are other people out there who's like, look, here's the garden path. We're going to walk through, and there's spikes.
Yeah. Which outlet was the one that actually started covering it? Was it ABC or CBS? I don't remember. But there's a reason why they're getting ahead of this, right? Because they knew that this stuff was going to come out.
Yeah.
And of course, in order for them to save their asses, they have to start going, oh, wow. This Hunter Biden thing is actually real, even though we knew about this 2 years ago. But we're finally going to report on it now, finally, 2 years later. So for them to save any quote unquote credibility, they have to get ahead of it.
Right. Well, they even did it with
in fairness to Catherine Herridge, she's been covering this for quite a while. She's been pretty tenacious on this, so I got to give her.
Good.
She's good.
Well, they've even spent weeks trying to discredit Elon the best they can. As soon as he comes out and says, "Hey, I'm publishing this stuff on you," it's like firestorms of trying to discredit him, make him look bad. Talk about his company now being like this beacon of hope for hate speech and violence and stuff, and it's like it's just all wrong. I mean, you look at the other platforms, and I mean, it's just their way of doing damage control the way they always do. Look over here, here's the distraction, here's what's and then meanwhile everything else is going on. Everyone, and their hopes is that normies won't really catch this, or these institutions they trust like ABC or NBC or New York Times, there's New York Times said that Twitter's this awful place, so I really shouldn't believe anything that's coming out of there, and like that's the part that I'm always worried about, because I don't even like will normies see this? Like, how many normies are really
it'll
on
get
Twitter
out there, but they're not on Twitter. I mean, Twitter is a tool that we use, and it's an echo chamber for the rest of Twitter.
You'll have people post it to Facebook.
People are going to start seeing it. Yeah.
Well, Twitter, like YouTube, is the battleground, right? Yeah. And the main thing is when the normies find out is when it starts making it to the mainstream news, like what we saw with CBS or ABC or whatever the fuck outlet it was.
When my wife finds out about this, I'll know if it hit the mainstream in some way.
Exactly.
Because we see news stories all day long, and then 3 days later she brings it up, and it's like, you don't listen to a damn thing I say, do you?
No.
And one ear out the other.
Yeah.
No, it's not so much one ear out the other. She just doesn't listen to.
No, if Facebook doesn't confirm it for her, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the other thing too. When it's on Facebook, because that's where a lot of the normies are at, right? They're not necessarily on Twitter. They're on Facebook.
At least probably 30 and up.
But Facebook's collapsing in front of our very nose. So
no, I feel so sad.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of censorship Facebook puts on this story, because I can guarantee you Facebook, YouTube, and the rest are doing this also.
They can't afford to do it.
They can't at this point, because they've already been outed. And if they try and suppress the story at this point, they're going to get fucking sued.
Yeah.
You'd think so. But
no.
You know that they were doing this too, though.
Well, all these social media platforms are about to get wrecked by 240.
Yeah.
And Zuckerberg even admitted it.
Well, you're right. And that's because this is the thing. And we've been talking about it for a while.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
It doesn't beep at me.
Section 230, we've already seen Mama Susan crying about it.
230.
I know what you're saying, Comics.
Me too.
We've already seen Mama Susan crying about it to the big YouTubers, trying to get them on her side. Let us censor you. No.
Tim Pool did a video on that. He said that Google actually called him on the phone to talk to him about doing this. And he's like, dude, I have all of this growth and success in spite of you.
Yeah.
Why would I do anything to cooperate with you? So
Now we won't be able to promote your content anymore. You don't do it currently.
Yeah.
The thing with 230 though is it really just needs to be enforced. It doesn't. I mean, if you repeal all social media goes down in flames. None of them can handle. They're then going to be responsible. So either they have to censor, or they're liable for the things that are being said on there. So it's going to knock them out completely. It needs to just be enforced.
It does, but the issue is there's actually some loopholes which is what they're using, because I do believe 230 also allows them to up to their discretion on who they promote, right? That's kind of the problem.
So not necessarily enforced, but overhauled. It doesn't need to change things.
Overhauled is probably better.
The letter of 230 doesn't give them a whole lot of latitude. They've been taking a great number of liberties with that platform protection while they're acting like publishers.
Yeah, which you can't do. You cannot be a publisher if you're gonna enjoy those things. And you're right, Jason, and you would know better than most because you've been in media forever.
Let's see this real quick.
Yeah, sorry, Shags. We're kind of carsing your show.
It's fine. It's fine. But I because I know 230 and everyone talks about it, but I was like, okay, well, let's just look at it real quick while we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So Section 230 says no provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider.
Yep.
In other words,
that prevents them from getting sued.
You're not responsible for the things said on your platform.
Right.
By other people.
The platform is seen as the government by the government as a pass-through channel.
Yep.
So that I make something, I'm responsible for what I make. Shags makes something, it's his responsibility. Brahma, you call it any of us, we each are responsible for the content that we make, and the platforms are not held liable for any harm or damages or anything that comes as a result of anything that we post.
Right.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, say, cell phone service.
Yeah, exactly.
If Verizon was held to account for any time, a terrorist plot or something was done on their lines,
right, that
would be insane.
Well, and
this is the same thing, but applying to these platforms that we're on for social media.
You're 100% right, and that's why one of the Supreme Court justices, and I bet you can guess who, said that they needed to regulate these social media companies like a utility, so they could be utilized for free speech, so that they could not be shut down. People could not be shut up. And Thomas is probably one of the smartest guys when it comes to this stuff, and it would essentially alleviate a lot of stuff that happens with 230 for these social media entities.
Right. I don't know, dude. I get kind of. I think it's sketchy whenever the government gets involved with stuff.
The government cannot thwart free speech, though.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we learned tonight that they have been, though.
Well, no, we've learned that they were doing so in collusion with a social media company, at least. Obviously, we know it was more.
Well, that gets to the heart of what we're talking about tonight.
Properly applied, 230 falls under the purview of the Federal Communications Commission.
Yes, the FCC.
It should be at FCC, and all of these platforms should be regulated same as a utility, whether it's a phone company or electric company or whatever. And they're not. And until that changes, until that changes, none of this is going to improve by much, if at all.
Yeah.
Right. Did you guys see this tweet from this fucking moron?
He's an idiot.
As a worldwide public square, this app should be heavily regulated for misinformation and spamming by the hostile interests. If Elon can't do that with his company, it should be seen as public utility under governmental supervision. This system, unregulated, will be more deadly.
He is the most
more deadly. Okay, how deadly was it before?
I like Stephanie's answer.
We are equating speech to violence. That's what these people do.
It's insanity.
He's contradicting himself too. I mean, if he's sitting there saying that the government should be regulating this all of it, but as a utility, the Section 230 applies, and they should be a pass through, and all of these platforms shouldn't be held accountable at all.
Right?
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Ruffalo is a fucking retard. Let's be honest.
But at the same time, all he's talking about is right-wing politicians and people in America, when he doesn't have a problem with, say, the Ayatollah having his account or anybody else.
He doesn't have a problem either with Antifa going out and doing stuff. It's censor. What he's basically saying is censor the things I don't like. That is what the left wants. And just like any of the leftists that you follow on Twitter, it's exactly the same shit. Censor the things I do not like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he was all over the guy that Rittenhouse shot, holding him up as a hero.
Gage Grosskreutz.
Yeah.
No, the first one, Baldwin. The Baldwin.
The pedophile?
The pedophile?
Yeah,
Well, he hit like 3 out of 4 were pedophiles. So. Hey, everybody, share out this stream, because we kind of threw it together at the last minute with all of us.
Please.
I mean, Shags had his stream scheduled, but
but we want Shags to be big, like his beard.
Which is why we've taken
huge.
Well, first off, Culture, if you want him to be big, you need to stroke his ego a little more.
I did. I got him to put his hair down, and so he could look a little more masculine on the stream.
And
then feed him some of your ranch.
Hi, comment. Guys,
Almost threw up.
I just came.
You just came.
My man.
You brought the ranch.
I am the ranch.
All right, baby.
Oh my
Whoa,
gosh.
buddy. Whoa.
Hey, did you wait? And I hate to interrupt because we've not gone on enough tangents yet, but I'm going to drop one more here. Did you hear the boys today on XLR7?
Yes.
Episode number, I don't know how many, but it was
21.
flipping awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean Nick has a voice for radio, and Comics has a face for radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man, Comics' fishnets on his arms was
that was
amazing.
Hey,
You want to talk
Cluster,
about?
At least I had a part in the video, unlike some people.
You want to talk about?
He said
Cold
all of
Chamber?
us will get on there at some point.
I know.
I thought of Comics. I'm like, wow, Comics looks like Des Fafara when he was in Cold Chamber.
I was like, shit. He's like making Comics way too tall.
You realize it's not me, right? I mean,
I don't know. Looks like you. Sounds like you.
So just commandeered this stream.
I don't know. You're about 8 pixels tall.
We'll get to it
let
eventually.
Shags have a stream back.
Sorry, Shags.
No, it's fine. Listen. This stream, like my daily stream, is like it's usually just me, but like when stuff like this happens, I'd rather have the crew together to like talk about it because I can't provide every bit. Like I guess I could, but like I mean, it's just fun getting everyone's sort of opinion and bouncing stuff off. And I don't feel like I see you guys enough anyway. So we're here together, and
Love being here.
Yeah.
But
yeah, let's get into these Twitter files a little bit. We'll read a few and then we can comment. So the Twitter files, what you're about to read is the first installment in a series based upon thousands of internal documents obtained by sources at Twitter. The Twitter files tell an incredible story from inside one of the world's largest and most influential social media platforms. It is a Frankensteinian tale of a human-built mechanism grown out of the control.
Frankenstein.
Sorry, I'm trying to be Andre.
Sorry.
Andre says it right. I suck at it. I'm sorry.
Twitter is in its conception was a brilliant tool for enabling instant mass communication, making a true real-time global conversation possible for the first time. I agree. It was actually really cool in the beginning. So it's interesting to see where it's evolved to. In an early conception, Twitter more than lived up to its mission statement, giving people the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. As time progressed, however, the company was slowly forced to add those barriers. Some of the first tools for controlling speech were designed to combat the likes of spam and financial fraudsters. Okay, understandable. Yeah. Slowly over time, Twitter staff and executives began to find more and more users for these tools. Outsiders began petitioning the company to manipulate speech as well. First a little, then more often, then constantly. And by 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another, more to review from the Biden team. Then reply would come back, handled. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a list of So from the Biden team, it's a list of tweets that people, they wanted to look over, and then they were handled. Whatever handled means, I'm not really sure what that means.
Handled means they deleted them.
They deleted them.
They deleted them or nuked the accounts.
Or nuked the accounts. And here's the thing. Somebody went super like autistic and like looked up this stuff, and the accounts were either deleted or whatever. And one of them is real James Wood in that second image at the bottom.
Yeah. Guy Squiggs got deleted for posting some of the pictures from the Hunter Biden laptop. Yep. There were people who were putting him into the Wayback Machine tonight and looking at the archives. So we know what some of them were deleted for. But I mean, ultimately, this is a case of we created a tool that was meant to do good, and a whole bunch of bad people weaponized it.
Yeah, remember when the tech world was like, don't be evil?
No, that was Google. And then they got rid of that motto because they became evil.
Yeah.
Man, they just got rid of the word don't in the motto.
They enjoyed the mwahaha too much.
Yeah, they did.
But this is where James Woods gets mentioned specifically, is in this next tweet. And that's why he has standing for this lawsuit.
Yeah, well, I think everybody in here has standing.
So everybody listed here. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The problem is like, the thing is like James Woods is probably the one person out of these that has the financial backing to do something about it.
Yeah, but he could lead a class action on behalf of anybody.
This is true. This is true.
And if he really had the stones to do that, you're looking at hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's not you actually would go after the DNC.
So
among other
federal government.
But I mean the DNC, they have pretty deep pockets.
Well,
They
do.
Well, I mean,
and they are listed there right in plain text.
Maybe not so deep after FTX went down, but
that's true. But that's actually true, Brahma.
They have another vehicle to launder, dude. Come on.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Hey, Rachel Dolezal has her own OnlyFans account now.
Yeah,
dude, have you seen it?
Yeah,
I saw the New York Post article, and that was about it.
I know. I think I did a story on it like a month or 2 months, 3 months ago. But yeah, she's like got like feet pictures and all kinds of weird shit. Yeah.
Real quick, core member did this.
I know, that is so amazing.
Oh my god, how to act like you know everything and become a meme.
Oh my god,
it's so good.
Core member tonight has been killing it. Did you see the bingo card?
Yeah, the bingo card's killing.
Oh, dude,
culture.
go through core members' feed, man. But dude, the memers are crushing it tonight. I
gotta ask a question on the Dolezal thing with the OnlyFans.
Oh boy,
if she's with a white
10,
guy on there, is it considered interracial or not?
No, she's white.
No, she's white.
I know that. That's the joke.
She's the female version of Talcum X, bro. I mean, come on.
Yeah. All right. Number 9, celebrities and unknowns alike could be removed or reviewed at the behest of a political party, which is, a gross violation of your First Amendment rights.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both parties had access to these tools. For instance, in 2020, requests from both the Trump White House and Biden campaign were received and honored. So that there again is like problematic. Like if, Trump's doing this and the Biden campaign's doing this, like it's bad on either side. Politicians just corrupt to the core.
Violation of First Amendment from both sides.
Yep.
Absolutely.
The aisle. That's
and
the issue.
Yet, in this entire thread, we don't see anything from the Trump White House other than that one thing about Kaylee's.
Yeah, about
Kaylee's
account being taken down.
The question is, are they saying that the tools were accessible?
Right.
But the tool is the back door or the tunnel, like they were saying before in previous stories we've talked about. But,
oh my god!
Yeah, the Intercept article.
Was the tool used by the Trump White House in the way that we see during this thread, or was it used in the same way that the Biden campaign was using it, which was to actively censor people?
Right. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no because I don't think Trump knew about it. Because after all, he basically signed that bill, which was kind of the seeds of his own destruction.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's not that tech savvy and probably had no idea.
Not.
And if people in his administration knew, I doubt they freaking told him about it.
Oh,
right,
they did it.
There's also Congress, because
Congress
we see
is a different
throughout
story, though.
Yeah, we see throughout here that there were reps and senators that were talking to people as well. So this is not just an administration or a campaign. It's apparently available to many politicians.
Right. No, I'm pretty sure both parties were well aware of it in Congress.
Yeah,
especially the McConnells of the world. He was aware of shit like this. You knew he was.
Which is funny because during half of the hearings about social media, these guys don't know crap about anything. I'm sure they know how to get the stuff done that they want done.
I don't even pay attention to those things anymore. Those are such a waste of fucking time. It's a dog and pony show to like show normies like, hey, like Congress is doing something in this building, and this is what they're doing. But like, I think most of us realize like there's nothing accomplished in those. Nothing.
No, nothing.
No, in fact, you like it was put fully on display when they hired a Hollywood producer to give you the January 6th hearings, folks.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the news that what's his name? SBF is going to be investigated by chairing it is going to be Maxine Waters, who's been buddy with him
Yeah, that is such a conflict of interest. I don't understand how they.
It won't last long because the real investigation is going to come after January. So who cares what comes out of this one?
Well, it makes me wonder if this is some sort of move to. I don't know if it's going to try and discredit or prevent the other investigation or not. But yeah, the whole thing with Maxine Waters being in charge of it and being in a photo with her arm around the dude, it's like, yeah, that's a bad idea.
I know.
Well, I mean, they're
conflict of interest.
They're
time. Just like Katie Hobbs with Arizona. It's all bullshit.
They're doing
every game.
They're doing everything they can to try to suppress as much as they can. So, and the problem is that this vehicle is no longer available for their suppression fest.
Right.
Yep.
This is great.
They lost the narrative at this point.
I want to know, how much shit do you think Zuckerberg right now is trying to cover up as we speak?
Oh, he's burning servers.
I'm pretty sure both Facebook and YouTube right now are doing what they can to, bury the bodies and make sure that nobody finds them.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Lots of panicked phone calls going on this weekend, I'm sure.
By the way, YouTube, just letting you know, all that stuff's in your GitHub commit history. Just letting you know.
Also, another thing I want to mention about these things that's really interesting. So I had some skepticism because after Dorsey stepped down, he had posted a few occasional tweets that seemed kind of red-pilling, but for me it was one of those too little, too late type of things. Like, no, dude, we're complicit. But now seeing so many tweets, it seems like some of these things were done without his knowledge, and he would actually try to realize, hey, we do need to be more even about this. Does this give any of you guys some, I guess you could say, a little bit of a different perspective on his role in this? Because it seems like he did, at times, try to be more even, but it seems like he was ganged up on his own platform.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think
it wasn't his own platform, though. He only had 2%,
He's not as villainous as I thought he was.
You're talking about Jack Dorsey?
Yes, Jack Dorsey.
Oh, he was fucking clueless, dude. He had no idea the show was going on.
That's what I mean. I now have a little bit more solidified, I won't say respect, but now I guess I'm a little bit more sympathetic towards him now.
When he was being interviewed on Joe Rogan with Tim Pool,
exactly,
it was
the JJ.
Yeah, back then it was very apparent that he had no fucking clue what was going on.
He kept
it was Vijay who kept answering.
Yeah, he kept having Vijay answer the questions.
Well, I said this years ago too. Like he's like beholden to all these, to his board. Like he's there. He's some fucking, Silicon Valley, tech kid that, made it big. I mean, I remember reading about Jack Dorsey, like when Twitter first came up. The people that I found out Twitter through were like connected through the tech world in a weird way, and they used to talk about him. And it was like he's just a kid, man, and he made it big. And you see him sit at those hearings, and like he seems a little bit more human than some of the others. And he's just like, I can't really say what I want to say. And I agree, those tweets following him stepping down were kind of like not necessarily a red pilling moment, but they were sort of like a cry. Like, I understand what's going on, and I knew this was happening, and like there's not a whole lot I can do. His hands are completely tied.
And he said, and you're right. In fact, I think you're onto something there, because he said specifically, if I remember, that they never should have taken the company public.
Right.
That was the biggest mistake.
He told Elon when Elon was looking to purchase it, this was all a mistake, basically saying they burnt my baby to the ground.
Well,
I'm out of it, but if you can take it private, do it.
Here's my problem with all this is that I'm not going to absolve him from guilt just because he didn't know.
Right.
A lot of this is your freaking company. Yeah. And I get that the CEO is not going to know everything, but this is a really big thing to miss. And I know eventually it got brought to his attention because the guy, Matt Taibbi, basically emailed him directly about this. And
who's a lefty, by the way.
Yeah. And he basically went to Vijaya and was like, is this true? And the thing is, like, dude, this is still ultimately, your fault. The buck stops with you.
Right.
This is your company. You should have reigned control of it. This is what you get for hiring activists. This is what you got for hiring Vijaya. This is all Jack's fault, ultimately.
Yeah, he was too busy doing yoga and getting stoned.
He's smoking a lot of dope.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, it is very apparent that he's a huge drug addict.
Oh yeah.
Even on Rogan.
Drugs and cryptocurrency are his thing, because I know he's a big crypto guy, because I saw him at some crypto thing with Dave Portnoy, and I know he's into that market, and you know, hey, great for him, but I'm sure he had his hand to play with it, but I definitely do not see him as these deep villain that I once thought he was.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's not the mastermind by any stretch.
No,
I think it's the people that, you know, he gave power to that abused it and then weaseled their way.
He had blind trust. Blind trust. It got taken advantage of, and he let it happen with that. Like I said, he's not completely clean like Comics say. Comics is right, but he's definitely nowhere near the globalist villain that I once thought he was. And
no, that was all Vijaya.
The only thing I'd be worried about is
rotten.
The only thing I'd be worried about through all of this is, I mean, we'll see what else comes out, but is it also Elon protecting his friend and saying, yeah, here's all the stuff, but keep Dorsey as clean as you can?
I don't feel like this kept Dorsey as clean as I can, because I thought about that.
It changed your opinion to a degree.
I mean, it changed my opinion to a degree, but here's the thing. Like, I feel like he would have just put it out. And here's the thing. Jack doesn't look like some brave guy after all this. He still just looks just like he's just some guy who is involved in this.
Yes, but it may not break him if he's kept somewhat clean. Yeah,
but even if you try to interpret this information, there doesn't seem like anything here that can make him look saved or dirtier. Like, there doesn't really seem like much like, hey, something feels missing. Because we're the type of guys where we're good at picking up where something feels off about this. And we would be the first one to call bullshit about that with Dorsey. I can see your point, because, yes, I am aware of their relationship or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. But I do believe that there is nothing there that we don't know by now with Jack. I think it's just, well, Jack, maybe you're not as bad as I thought you were. Okay, great. Now get out of the way so we can take care of business.
We'll just call it a thing like F&T. I'm throwing it out there as a possibility. I can always be wrong.
Maybe, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I truly feel like what we know about Jack, everything seems to add up. It doesn't feel like there's any pieces that are left out or missing. It feels very even, and it does line up. Jack's just a guy who, well, he's not a leader. We'll just say that. He's not a leader.
If you're a weak man and everything that you built gets destroyed around by the people that you hired, that's on you.
Yeah, he's
I think
not a leader.
They probably realize that they've got somebody that they can manipulate and manage. Yeah. And you just go and be your figurehead and be the face of the company, and we'll take care of things.
Yeah, a lot of creatives.
Well, remember, he left the company.
Yes, he did leave the company. Yeah. That's true. That's true. I remember that.
Creatives are not typically type A personalities.
Was he told to leave?
Oh, I wonder. That's something to consider. Because if he was told to leave, Jason, you're onto something. If he was told to leave, then that makes it look like they were out to get him, because maybe he was on his way of maybe spilling some actual beans beyond Ted Cruz's dumb political theater.
Maybe.
I threw a poll in chat for chat. So
maybe I don't spilled the beans, because that would have taken his money out.
I legit think Jack didn't know. I think he was too fucking.
I think he's just stupid. Yeah.
I mean, it's
just looking at it from all angles.
You just never know at this point. You know, it's like we could sit here and say, hey, you know, he seemed okay, and like I don't think he did. I think it was the people around him. I think it was the money grubbing, you know, power hungry assholes, you know, surrounding him that did it. But you who knows? You know, it might come to pass that he has to answer for some stuff. But yeah, it's.
Let me throw this.
He's the CEO at the time of all this happening. Maybe not for very long, but like, because I don't remember when he resigned. Was it 2021 that he stepped down, or was it a little bit later than that? Because
I think it was 2022.
Was it early
2022? Because I think we covered the story, and I wasn't around here until 2022. So.
Oh wow.
Let me throw this out, a compare and contrast, because some of this is starting to sound like some of the stuff that was going on over at Disney. Because the last couple of weeks, you know, Cameron Pasha has been around with his theory that The FTX collapse caused a panic. Christine McCarthy goes into the board and says, "Oh, we can't. This is a mess. It's a mess. We got to get rid of Bob Chapek." Well, he was on our channel talking earlier, and he's thinking that Bob Chapek was probably about to find out about the whole FTX and what is this? Somebody better explain this to me. And so they got rid of him before he could find out. What if this was the same kind of thing with Twitter, where Jack's about to find out everything that we've done? We need to get him out. And so some circumstances such that we get Jack down.
He announced his departure November 29th of 2021.
And then we got Argawal, or whatever his name was.
Parag Agrawal. And here's the thing. I disagree with many of you on this panel.
It was May 20. It was May of 2022 is when he officially left.
Okay, so that's when we talked about it. That's when I was around.
I want to hear Culture's take.
Yeah,
Jack knew.
Ooh, go for it. No,
the reason that I say that is he wasn't completely in the dark. Sometimes you only want to know what you want to know.
Okay,
that's fair.
And you like don't a blinders thing.
Right, exactly, or a deniability, whatever you want to use.
Deniability,
yeah. And so you only want to know what you want to know. He knew enough to know that shit was dirty, but he didn't want to know any more than that, because when he went to Congress to testify on 3 separate occasions, he had to not know a lot of stuff. So he knew, he wasn't intimate with the knowledge in a way that would have compromised him in answering those questions.
Right.
And do I think that Elon is going to protect his buddy? 100%, because I guarantee you that on the way out the door, Jack was like, "Dude, this is all the shit that's going on, man. Are you sure you want to buy this?"
Yeah, that's where I was going earlier with,
I would say he knew, I'm not going to say to a point, but obviously when he got that email from Taibbi, or Taibbi, or however you say his name, he probably started digging into it and kind of found out what was going on. I'm curious to see when that email was actually sent, because that would definitely maybe play into him stepping down. I know that was like one of the last things he posted.
What if Jack saw certain things coming and he says, "I really don't want to know about this stuff," and he left? Kind of like Bob Iger when he left Disney right before everything hits the fan, and he knows what's coming, and I don't want to be around for it.
Well, look, he knew everything that was coming out of China, because they have a massive operation in China. They have 2 major theme parks and lots of other ancillary businesses there that were providing merch and other things. So he absolutely knew what was happening in China, and he knew it was going to go sideways quickly, and he wanted to, take his golden parachute run. And the company was more than happy to grant that request, because they were trying to get his ass out the door for 5 years.
Who are they trying to get out for 5 years?
Twitter was doing this. If Jack saw something coming, and he's like, I have plausible deniability on this, but the longer I'm here, the less I'm going to have, and the more exposed I'm going to be.
Yeah, I think he limited his exposure. I think you're right, Jason. I think that's exactly right.
Well, and it's already been a long evening of looking at all this stuff, but isn't there at some point where they're basically saying, we're about to be called before Congress. We've got a shit show coming. We have to, yes, all the executives were trying to do plausible deniability in the background if we read the rest of these tweets. But at the same time, wasn't it, we have to kind of warn Jack that he's got a shit show coming at him next week during this congressional meeting or whatever congressional hearing? I'm trying to remember all the details because there's been so much analysis and talk. I'm trying to. I may want to continue reading too.
Real quick, before we go on, Culture. Sorry. For those who just arrived or arrived with Nick, we're also we're live on Rumble too. If you guys want to support over there, I'll drop a link in. Those who are here, thank you for joining. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate you in the panel so far. Thank you guys for all your comments. The discussion is awesome. Make sure you guys hit the like button. If you're over on Rumble, smash the plussy because we like to do that here.
Treat the plussy right.
Yeah,
treat the plussy right.
Love the plussy. Caress the plussy.
Ooh, comics.
I said,
sorry, Culture, go ahead. I just want to make sure I threw that in there.
No, it's fine. Just gently lick the plushie.
Whoa, man. We have got very intimate in the Dicks division.
This is the Shaggy Dicks tonight.
Yeah, this first hour flew by, though. I feel like
I love what
more than 15 minutes.
I love what Talk said. He's like, "What is this yelling at Shagsworth beard?"
Yeah,
yes, yeah. We're gonna need yelling at Shagsworth coffee here in a minute because it's gonna get late fast. I'm just like, dang.
Only for you, old man.
Oh, you guys suck.
It's 10 o'clock. It's not even that late, man. It's Friday. You don't have nothing to do tomorrow.
In the great time zone where
I'm filming
or early for us.
I'm filming stuff for my DIY channel. I got 5 videos to film for Grant because he's a slave driver.
Hey, Culture.
He's filming porns. What he's doing?
Yeah, how to lick that pussy.
How to lick
his only weaves page is taking off. So yeah,
his only weaves channel.
Yeah.
Culture.
I'm meeting with some merchandise people tomorrow. I'm meeting with the salon supplier for the beard and hair products. And I got stuff going on, guys. You guys are mean to me.
Culture Casino plushie win.
That's love you, Culture.
I sent you a message. I don't know if you got it, so I'll just tell you what it said on there. It's nothing kinky. I wanted some kinky though, but on your one of your videos, because I do watch your videos. You posted the Phase 4 video, and I'm one of those guys when I watch your videos, I watch all the way to the end, nap and all. But you mentioned check out my Rumble twice in it.
Well, Nick, all I gotta say is somebody's gonna watch these videos.
And I will gladly. And I'm his viewer. I'm his groupie in that case, I guess.
I love you, Culture. You make very good content.
He actually
you might
does.
be surprised. Culture didn't say a word of that.
We already talked about that.
So I get to hold it against Grant.
AI.
So Grant's the one who's complicit then.
Grant's just making Culture videos now. That's how he's getting 5 a day out. He's just typing words and Culture just spouts them out.
That's probably
without
true.
Culture actually doing anything.
No, there's just a script there. And I just read it.
Culture's like, here, Grant, here's a topic. Type something up. Make me read it in AI voice.
There we go.
It's a video.
All right, let's continue on these tweets here. We'll get them through next few bunch. The system wasn't balanced. It was based on context because Twitter was and is overwhelmingly staffed by people of one political orientation. There were more channels, more ways to complain, open to the left, while Democrats than the right. And oh, geez.
Well, and then they link to the Open Secrets. By the way, I follow Open Secrets on Twitter. It's a great follow if you're very much against kids being exploited and other bad events. And I've been following them for a long time, and Eliza Blue and all them. And I don't have to agree with all of their politics to agree with their motivations and their pursuits. And it's fascinating indeed. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
The 2022 cycle contributions to Democrats 165,969, so 99.73% went to them. $451 to Republicans.
So that's like 5 employees are Republicans, the rest are Democrats.
Right. It's probably the guys sweeping the floors too. Like not really much of a contribution. Yeah. 2020 total close to 1,900,000 to Dems and 14,000. And this is exactly what Tim was saying, like to Vijay and to Jack. Like it was like, you guys are predominantly. She's like, well, you can't really say that. It's like, what do you mean you can't say? Like, look at these numbers. Like in 2020s when they were talking. Yeah. Like,
Vijay, you're lying. You're a lion. You're lying, Vijay.
You know,
it doesn't matter then.
Shags, you're on with Tim. That was my gateway to Tim Pool and watch him. If you had saw that and that was your gateway to Tim Pool, you could have swore he was owning every interview conversation the way he did that one, because he absolutely nailed it on that one. And then you see how much more. I wish to believe he was a bit more fair, but I feel like he's so lacking in conviction.
Yeah,
And
well, yeah, he's the ultimate fence sitter.
Ultimately, yes, he is.
Yeah.
But in that video, he seems so sure of himself. He had such great posture, and he articulated a great argument. If you had watched that video, start and stop from there, and that was your only memory of Tim Pool, you would thought he was such a razor sharp guy because he nailed it on that video.
And that's the thing. Like Adam's talked about it the past couple of weeks. Like, you know, there's you can't say anything bad necessarily about Tim's work ethic. The guy like works the hardest of like any person out there.
I won't doubt it.
And I kind of caught on to Tim Pool a little.
Even
like,
Eric
just
July
before,
said that.
Yeah, just before he went on to onto Rogan for the first time, it was just him. Like I'd caught him just before that, and like I was really intrigued. And then I saw that he was on with, you know, all the Twitter reps and everything multiple times. I was like, holy shit. And you're right. He was really sharp because he's on it, man. Like and especially when he sinks his teeth into something and gets it, like, and he was just on every single thing. And this just, a lot of this stuff just confirms what he already knew. But everyone, you know, he got a lot of shit from that point on. He got really big really quick. Right. And then, you know, and then it's all of a sudden like, oh, Tim's crazy. He's just, you know, and no, like he's right. And people are talking about this. Yeah, he does. And you know, you can't say anything bad about him that way. Obviously, got plenty of other things to say. But, like, you know,
not a very good person. That's been kind of apparent.
Right. Hey, but wait, isn't he? He's giving $100,000 to his family members.
Yeah.
Come on, Merry Christmas.
That's a good Christmas.
That is pretty good. 12. The resulting slant in content moderation decisions is visible in the documents you're about to read. However, it's also the assessment of multiple current and former high-level executives, which could be, you know, it could be people above Jack, like we were talking about. It could be the board, and well, I guess he's at the top, but it could be those, you know, the board members or people just below him. Okay, there was more throat clearing about the process, but screw it, let's jump forward.
And that's what he did, right? He skipped 13, 14, and 15. He's like, let's go.
And the high-level executives are beneath him, but they're the people that he put in charge of, like, safety and moderation and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
right?
Yeah,
he
like,
gave them ultimate power over who to shut down and who to not.
Exactly.
And they used it.
Yol and the JJ and
Yep.
So the Twitter files part 1. Oh wow, that wasn't even the beginning of the Twitter files. How and why Twitter blocked the Hunter Biden laptop story. On October 14th, 2020, the New York Post published Biden's secret emails in an expose based on the contents of Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop. Twitter took extraordinary steps to suppress the story, removing links and posting warnings that it may be unsafe, whatever that means. They were blocked in its transmission via direct message, which is fucking crazy. A tool hitherto reserved for extreme cases, e.g., you know, that. While House spokeswoman Kayleigh McEnany was locked out of her account for tweeting about the story, prompting a furious letter from the Trump campaign staffer Mike Hahn, who seethed, "I at least pretend to care for the next 20 days." So let's see what the emails say. Kayleigh's been locked out of her account for simply talking about the New York Post story, as all she did was cite the story and firsthand reporting that has been reported by other outlets and not disputed by the Biden campaign. I need an answer immediately on how she will be unlocked. I also don't appreciate how nobody in this team called me regarding the news that you'll be censoring news articles. Like I said, at least pretend to care for the next 20 days.
Yeah, this is right before the election.
Yeah, October 14th, 2020. So 3 weeks before.
And this, the only communication from anybody on the Republican side of things in this thread.
Yep.
Wow, that's so disturbing. This led public policy executive Carolyn Strom to send out a polite WTF query. Several employees noted that there was tension between the comms policy teams, who had little less control over moderation, and the safety trust teams. So on October 15th, 2020, 7:30 in the morning, Carolyn Strom wrote, "Hi team, are you able to take a closer look here? Thank you." Oh, I see. So releasing her emails, what everyone's mad about, like these.
Yeah,
she's still with Twitter?
People actually being named is what they're upset about instead of it being redacted. because then people know who is actually doing this crap. That's
Fucked
what
around
Yule
and
is
found out.
about.
In the first couple of screenshots that we get of this, the Twitter emails are rejected, and then suddenly they're not.
Yeah. You know why?
Somebody's either still there or they just decided, screw it, we're not going to take the time to do it.
Well, and I think no, what they did is they're actually exposing it. This is Elon said we're going to expose this.
Yeah.
He burns down Yole, right? Who apparently Jason came across an interesting find that we've seen in the background that I hope we share out on the screen.
Yeah.
But
this is.
He's not burning the whistleblowers. He's only burning the people who were doing
the people that were bad. Yeah, the bad behaviors, the bad actors, the bad faith actors.
Oh, this tweet that you just put in here?
Yeah, this is fire.
Mm-hmm. Todd Starnes reports explosive. I've seen a sworn affidavit from Yoel Roth, the former head of Twitter's Trust and Safety. He was meeting every week before the election with FBI and other intelligence officials.
The alphabets were all over this.
Well, and that goes back to what Catherine Herridge posted, because Culture had that link where the intelligence community was in there going, no, this laptop thing is Russia.
Right.
Russia.
We had
Russia. Russia.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. And you're talking over 20 former intelligence officials spreading misinformation and it being broadcast as fucking news.
Yep.
As fact.
Yeah. Well, that's not new, right? I mean, this is again stuff we all know, but like Posobiec said, we're finally getting stuff you can prove in court.
Dude,
and that's why I said earlier in our chat, like, it doesn't matter, like, if the information to us is not totally new. The difference is it has a mainstream perception.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Well,
That's what matters.
The other thing too is, this stuff happens all the time. Yeah, I mean, it goes back to Walter Cronkite. I mean, you go all the way back to Vietnam and whatnot. But in 2015, 2016, when Trump hit the campaign trail, suddenly everything changed. There was this shift, and we saw it in Hollywood. We saw it, starting with Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there was this paradigm shift, this cultural shift. It was almost like, let's take everything and move it over here, and then all of this just exploded. With crazy.
Okay, but that movie came out before, or that movie's already in the works before Trump was elected.
Right.
Yeah, they were getting the stage set. For women taking over.
Around that time period is when all of this started to start to percolate.
Well, coalesced then.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say it coalesced then, Jason. You're 100% right. But this all rolls back to like 2012. Actually, when you started to see the shift, Comics, you're going to know the answer to this. When did Obama make it legal for the government to lie to the people?
Oh God,
2012.
Yeah, I think Nick's right. It's 2012. Yeah, there's a lot of things that happened. I mean, I started kind of noticing a lot of the tide shifting like shortly after Sandy Hook. That's when you basically had all these black bloggers calling out white people, and that's why I first heard about privilege. So this is stuff that's been, I would say, in the works for a while. It just really became mainstream around the election, and it got worse because of Trump's election.
Comics, let me ask you, did it happen after Sandy Hook or because of Sandy Hook?
No, this happened. I noticed it after Sandy Hook.
But I noticed it before.
But would events like that serve as a foundation for changing certain policies about how certain people were treated by certain other entities?
I don't know. Maybe
not. I don't think so. That was more. I mean, I noticed it was National Prayer Day, where Obama literally called out everybody and said Christians need to get off their high horses. That's honestly, that was one of the most divisive statements he made, and
it was
from there on. I mean,
what I think the genesis was the Obama administration.
Yeah, he was supposed to heal racial wounds that in the 90s. I'm sorry. I was born in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s. We really didn't have a whole lot of problems from what I remember, not the way that we have them now. After Obama, racial division was a major factor in everything that has happened since. Obama divided this country racially when he was supposed to have been the one that was supposed to bring everybody together. He chose to make statements like that could have been my son, and you know, all that kind of crap. And that's where this country took a hard turn.
You're right, because he amplified it. Because remember, a lot of the people who were starting to use the everything is racist, they started it with the whole, well, I'm not racist, I voted for Barack Obama. They try to use that card as a way of saying I'm not a racist. And rather than Barack Obama say, hey, listen, this is not how that's like, he had every right reason to do it, especially with the good game that he talked for all his dumb policies. He knew how to talk a good game. He knew how to persuade a crowd. He could have said that shit. Listen, this is not about the race. It's just
in every instance he took it the other way.
Didn't.
He would say
exactly
if there was a shooting, immediately without any investigation, he would put his finger on the scale and say the cops were wrong. If it involved
there's a lot of things too, because really it wasn't just Obama, but it was during that administration where the identitarianism that we see today really kind of started gaining momentum, and you saw it. I'm not going to say on the right as well, but there were people, and maybe they were on the right. I don't remember. It's been a while where you had like pictures of like a mock lynching of Obama. So it's like a lot of the stuff came from both sides during that time period, because there's people that weren't happy that he got elected, and obviously there were people who were very happy that he was elected. And I think this is really where it's, you know, the nation started getting polarized in the identitarian movement.
Hang in there, Obama. Capitalize on that. Rather than just say that's just a he could have acknowledged it as a dumb minority, pay no mind to them, done, over, done with, left in the past. But instead, he wanted to amplify that shit, comics, because he saw the opportunity and he decided to make that the poster image for the right.
Given how we see the FBI now, and how, you know, with the thing with the Governor Whitmer and the stuff with January 6th, in hindsight, I'm wondering now how much of the unrest and the racial tensions and all that other stuff, with like the hanging in effigy and burning, all of that, how much of that was false flag ops? You know, because now everything's suspect.
I don't know, man. That's a good question.
Belt, I don't know, but I think Shag's just going to make a point too.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead, Shag. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was looking at what you guys were talking about with like essentially making it legal to lie to people through news outlets.
Yeah.
So I just looked up, because I remember hearing something about this, so I just looked it up. Of course, it's like some check your fact website, but like I was just reading what it was, but it's one of those things where it's the language that's always getting me with this. So people thought it was the National Defense Act of the fiscal year 2013 that changed something, but this person thinks it's likely the U.S. Information Education Exchange of 1948, a law also known as the Smith-Mundt Act, that authorized and set rules around the dissemination of information from U.S. government-funded media outlets like Voice of America, according to the U.S. Agency for Global Media. So the U.S. Agency for Global Media broadcasts news and information about the United States and the world to audiences abroad. So the Smith-Mundt Act Modernization Act, contained within the National Defense Authorization Act, eases some restrictions so that the media produced by the U.S. Agency for Global Media and intended for foreign audiences could be distributed domestically upon request, according to its text. So, but like, again, it seems like language, like semantics,
but you understand where that's going out, that the outlet news they're talking about goes out through AP, UPI, the major news wires. So that news automatically gets regurgitated in the United States and run on the front page or in the news cycle.
Right.
Yeah. So the propaganda wasn't meant for us originally.
No, but it's aimed at us now.
Yeah. And that's where it's like, I hate the fact checking places.
2012, but and you know who knows this better than I do is freaking Wes Moody. Yeah.
Sorry, you guys cool if we continue through this a little bit?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a weird branch off, but yeah, let's go.
It allowed me some time to read that because I was like, I really want to see this, and I kept forgetting where I was. So Strom's note returned the answer that the laptop story had been removed for violation of the company's hacked materials policy,
which is bullshit.
Yeah, right. Thanks for reaching out to us. Per checking, the user was bounced by site integrity for violating hacked materials policy, adding them here for further insight and guidance. And of course, this person's exposed.
Elaine Ong Sato. She lied her ass off.
Right. Although several sources recalled hearing about a general warning for the federal law enforcement this summer about possible foreign attacks, there's no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. In fact, that might have been the problem. The decision was made at the highest levels of the company, but without the knowledge of CEO Jack Dorsey. The former head of legal policy and trust, Vijaya Gad, playing a key role. Oh boy.
That's the tweet that made me think that maybe they're trying to protect Dorsey. That
I don't think
was trying to protect Dorsey.
Well, to a certain extent, it's quite possible Jack had no idea. I mean, he's a CEO. Below the C-suite, a lot of shit happens. I mean, look at what just happened to Chapek, in his ouster. Because we know for a fact Christine, the CFO, was instrumental in getting his ass removed.
So. Yeah, I agree. I don't think, like I said, I'm sticking to my original statement. I don't think he knew.
I think he didn't want to know, and I'm going to stick with my original statement.
Well, it's a very good possibility that he didn't want to know and he didn't look into it.
Right.
Yeah, it's nuanced.
Yeah, well, the chat agrees with me, so you guys are big losers. So
that's right, Culture Casino. Take your win and go home.
Oh, dude, JPEG was never going to save the company.
No. They just freelanced it. It is how one former employee characterized the decision. Hacking was the excuse, but within a few hours, pretty much everyone realized that wasn't going to hold. But no one had the guts to reverse it. Wow. You can see the confusion in the following lengthy exchange, which ends up including Gad and former Trust and Safety Chief Yoel Roth. Comms official Trent Kennedy writes, I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this as unsafe.
God, you give this to an independent investigative reporter like this guy. You have him craft this story. We've got many nights of this going forwards, folks. And this guy's an investigative journalist for real, not like the mainstream folks.
Yeah, right. And he can take this years back.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but
damn. Oh, you're fine. Our teams continue to investigate the origins of the material included in this reporting. Trenton Kennedy, I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this unsafe, and I think the best explainability argument for this externally would be that we're waiting to understand if the story is a result of hacked materials. We'll face hard questions on this if we don't have some kind of solid reasoning for marking the link unsafe. We will also mark similar stories as unsafe. We also mark similar stories unsafe. Wow.
So then they went to the Hunter Biden email thing, Homeland Security thing that was run by Fox. So they're going through, okay, what are we going to start marking? Because I can tell you the guy right here, this Trenton Kennedy guy, is freaking. He's like, okay, how do we try to stay out of the whirlwind that's going to happen because of this?
Right.
Yeah. Which actual toss rule are we using for this? Because there's not really one that applies.
Nothing applies.
Yeah. And it's smart for him to putting this in writing and being like, hey, I was trying to ask from the very beginning that this is going to be problematic.
To understand this is, please somebody else make a decision here because it's not going to be my ass in a fucking sling.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. And what am I supposed to say when I'm asked?
Right. Yeah. The guy who's written many
CYA
emails. CYA. Yeah, exactly. By this point, everyone knew this was fucked, and said one former employee, but the response was essentially to err on the side of continuing to err. Yoel says the policy basis is hacked materials, though as discussed, this is an emerging situation where the facts remain unclear. Given the severe risk the severe risks.
Look at how severe is all capital letters, because they know this is a game changer for an election.
Right. And this is, but it's more of this bullshit. Like, you know, given the severe risks, you know, they're talking about Trump being reelected and lessons of 2016 of, you know, like, again, the violence that happened then was all driven by the leftists. Cities burning then were them burning them down. We're erring on the side of caution, including a warning and preventing this content from being amplified because we're pussies.
But 2016 was the bullshit Russian, you know, interference crap. That's what that is, I think, more in line with what they're trying to outline there. I could be wrong, but
at this point, did we know that was bunk? Like,
no, they're still carrying that water, bro. They're still carrying the Russian, you know, the Russian influence in the 2016 election at this point, and they still are even today.
But so this is a whole bunch of high-level people right here, doing CYA and saying, okay, how can we have plausible deniability on this? Yeah. What are we going to say that we can get away with if we're called to account for this?
Okay, but
they even say it later about the Jack pre-hearing. That's what I was talking about earlier.
And we'll get there, but comics, this language here, right, is all, how do we get away with this still? How do we, despite all of everything we've done, how do we continue to get away with it?
I think there's two ways of looking at it. There's that what you just said, or it could be somebody who's legitimately concerned. Because I'm not going to say, what's that?
This is Yoel Roth we're talking about.
Yoel Roth? Oh, yeah. He's definitely trying to fucking bury the lead then.
And Vijay, yeah.
No, well, let's get through this. Let's get through this one because we didn't finish. I realized I didn't finish reading this. So she says, what is the warning that will come up? Yoel says, when you click the link, you'll see the generic unsafe URL message referencing spam, malware, and violations of Twitter rules. Not ideal, but it's the only thing we have.
So I want to know, what is this from? Is this from their Slack conversation? Is that what this is actually taken from?
Yeah, this is the internal.
So. Yeah, it looks like it.
But that means they made up the violation thing that would come up under anything that was referencing that. Because it says it's new. When you click the link, you're going to see this new message that we just made up for this very specific story. That's how I interpreted it, at least.
So Ian Plunkett says, whatever we do in the comms, this will become a bias claim for Jack pre-hearing immediately. Let's make it clear we're proactively but cautiously interpreting this through the lens of our hacked materials policy and allowing the link with a warning and significant reduction of spread. They're admitting that they reduced the spread of tweets as well there.
Well, yeah, I mean, they fucking outright banned it. I mean, they deleted the New York Post Twitter account as a result of this.
Right. And Kayleigh McEnany's until they removed the tweets.
Yeah.
They said, we're not reinstating you until you remove the tweet that we say is
and the New York Post never deleted it, though. Now, Facebook was actually limiting it, according to Zuckerberg. But, Twitter flat out fucking censored, the article and, the New York Post.
Former VP of Global Comms Brandon Borman asks, can we truthfully claim that this is part of the policy? To Ian's point, can we truthfully claim that this is part of the policy? As part of our approach to addressing potentially hacked materials, we are limiting visibility of related stories on Twitter while our investigation is ongoing. To which what's that?
Well, the new appears on everything. So yeah, maybe my other take on that was not correct about what
that's like a new message, I guess.
One thing that just clicked with me
I just realized they have it on all of them.
Yeah,
is that they're trying to bury the lead under hacked materials, which it was not.
Right. And they knew that actually going in.
They knew it.
Yes, because in one of the later tweets they talk about it. Well, actually it's coming right up here in number 28.
Yeah.
To which former Deputy General Counsel Jim Baker again seems to advise staying the non-course because caution is warranted.
So this is legal getting involved now.
Yeah.
This is their attorney.
This is the Deputy Counsel. Yeah.
I support the conclusion that we need more facts to assess whether the materials were hacked. At this stage, however, it is reasonable for us to assume that they may have been and that caution is warranted. There are some facts that indicate that the materials may have been hacked, while there are others indicating that the computer was either abandoned and or other owner consented to allow the repair shop to access it for at least some purposes. We We simply need more information.
So he knew the answer because he elucidated. He spoke it out loud in the second part of those last two sentences. He already knew. They already knew. Again, the beginning of this is just covering ass.
You're right, Culture. They knew that, okay, as long as we get, once again, public perception leaning our way, this won't matter. That's why we go by what we consider the authorized methods, and we're okay. We're covered. They didn't have to worry. They felt like, okay, we're in a position we don't have to worry about this shit because we had the power. And this also just goes to show you how fucking, like, even though leftists are really good at, like, trying to infiltrate culture, for every 10 things they're amazing for, there's some things where they're absolute fucking morons for.
Well,
and one of them is not covering their ass. And we're seeing this shit play out right here. They left all this shit open thinking that this will never come back to, like,
exactly, Nick. That's it right there. They thought this would never come out, which is the reason why they didn't cover their ass. And I don't think they really wouldn't have been able to. I'm sure you could delete stuff. But at the end of the day, they were so arrogant. They thought this would never come to light. Yeah.
And that's probably why they were scrambling all this time when Elon.
It's the reason why Vijaya started breaking down crying, because she knew that she was done.
Yeah, but this is the corporate version. This is the corporate version of better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission.
Yeah, except
that's what they're doing, but they did neither at any point.
No, and
they never apologized for
under Jack. I'm pretty sure, and the current, or not the current regime, but the old regime after Jack, I'm pretty sure if they found out about, which they obviously did, they felt that they were going to be fine. They did not anticipate back in 2020 when all this shit was going on that an outsider was going to come in and buy the fucking company from out from under them.
$44 billion to take over. Hostile.
Yep.
Culture, should we watch this? Is that why you put it in there?
No. I'm just, that's informational for you guys. You can look it up, but it's this. I mean, there are several outlets that are reporting this is the greatest piece of corruption that in the U.S. history.
Well, let's be honest. The left likes to throw around the "this is bigger than Watergate" thing.
Yeah, well, this is way bigger than that.
This is far bigger than Watergate, and that's not hyperbole. That is fact in this case.
Yeah, and
it's kind of like when they use unprecedented, and it's never unprecedented.
When we get to this next part 30, and then the obviously the message below, I have something to say.
Okay, let's head into that. A federal, federal. I can't even read. Get my glasses on. A fundamental problem with tech companies and content moderation. Many people in charge of speech know/care little about speech and have to be told the basics by outsiders.
Yeah.
In one humorous exchange on day one, Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna reaches out to Gad to gently suggest she hop on the phone to talk about the backlash regarding speech. Khanna was the only Democratic official I could find in the files who expressed concern.
And she is a congresswoman from California that is a Democrat.
Okay.
Wow.
Generating
I'm surprised
huge,
by that.
Right. Generating huge backlash
Wait
on
till the end of her statement.
On the Hill regarding speech. Happy to chat if you're up for it. Best Row.
Okay. Now I'm going to speak just real quickly.
Sure.
What does that email read?
It's never real quickly, but yes.
No, what does the email read?
Generating huge backlash on Hill.
No. But above that, where's it from?
It's from a Gmail account.
Yeah, her that's personal not account, not her account, government.
Not official.
Oh, good.
It's
good
not
call
a gov.org.
Yeah, and that's the point, right? It is not from her government account. This is a circumvention of back channels, which means these people have direct access outside of their official government capacity, and they are communicating with the background folks at Twitter, other social media companies, maybe other video platforms we would be familiar with. I'm being very careful here, but that's deeply fucking concerning to me.
It's Hillary using her BlackBerry that was not the
she sent this from her iPhone, as it says, from my
iPhone. Okay, who legitimately thought that Hillary was preventing Elon Musk from speaking up. I thought the memes, even if it wasn't true, the memes were hilarious. That
no, I thought it was funny.
Hillary got Elon. It was hilarious.
Oh,
it was hilarious.
There was an hour and huge, and you wanted to build up the audience, just like some shows like FNT. Wait,
I mean, it's not like FNT, ever
wait until
delays forever.
10,000 people are there before they'll actually click go live.
Oh no, that's all Gary's fault. He's not like trying to build up the audience.
Hey,
it's just
we have our conspiracies.
Yeah,
you let us have them.
Conspiracy, bro. What are you doing? Stop bringing real information here.
I'm ruining it for you, is what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, it's fun for me though.
Ooh, I'm comics. I'm on the inside.
I'm just. Thank you, Tox, for being on my team.
No, it's true. Like, and honestly, it's a good pickup because I wouldn't have realized that. And the thing here too, it sucks because like, okay, sent from my phone. So like the one thing could be like, I was on my phone. I was trying to write an email. I was on the wrong email, and it's like, that's how they sort of like get by. It's like,
I'm sorry, I was sending this, this email to the, this premiere in a foreign country, and oops, I used my Gmail. Right. Fuck you.
Yeah, John Kerry going back, going around the actual functioning government to talk to all of his connections from when he was Secretary of State. That kind of shit.
I'm not saying any of those things. Well, actually, I am saying all of those things. That's the problem.
They do it all the time. That's the problem.
Yeah,
it is.
Gad replies quickly, immediately diving into the weeds of Twitter policy, unaware Kana is more worried about the Bill of Rights. Thank you for reaching out, and we appreciate the heads up. We put our clarifying thread of tweets earlier this evening to explain our policy around the posting of private information and linking directly to hacked materials. The press secretary's account was not permanently suspended. We requested that she delete the tweet containing the material that is in violation of our rules, and her account is restricted until she complies. I'd be happy to jump on the phone, and if helpful, my team in DC are copied here and are also available to discuss. Kind of tries to reroute the conversation of the First Amendment, mention of which is generally hard to find in the files. So
that's him taking a shot at them because he could not find any references to free speech in any of the files that he's looking at.
Sometimes you can do busy reading the words. Sorry. So from Ro to Vijaya now, how are you? Wow. Hope you're well, Vijaya. But this seems a violation of the First Amendment principles. If there is a hack of classified information or other information that could expose a serious war crime and the New York Times was to publish it, I think the New York Times should have that right. A journalist should not be held accountable for the illegal actions of the source unless they actively aided the hack. So to restrict the distribution of that material, especially regarding a presidential candidate, seems not in keeping of the principles of New York Times versus Sullivan. I say this as a total Biden partisan and convinced he didn't do anything wrong, but the story now has become more about censorship than relatively innocuous emails, and it's become a bigger deal than it would have been. It's also now leading to serious efforts to curtail 230. So this is what I was getting at it. Like, as I was reading, I'm like, okay, so now you have a Biden supporter who's like,
okay. But this is where it's funny. So here's where it's funny from tonight. So the coordinator is reading this, and he stops there as well. And he actually goes on Twitter and says, "That's very based, Rokana," and tags her and was like, "Awesome of you to do." But then we read the rest of it.
Okay, let's read the rest of it. I believe Twitter itself should curtail what it recommends or puts in trending news, and your policy against QAnon groups is all good. It's a hard balance. But no, it's not. You don't like the things you like and you want that banned, dumbass.
But the things I don't like.
Right. Yeah. But in the heat of the presidential campaign, restricting dissemination of newspaper articles, even if New York Post is far right, seems like it will invite more backlash than it will do good. Please keep this communication between us and Jack, so no need to CC the team.
Whoopsie.
So she starts out sounding real based about the First Amendment, and then it turns out at the end she's just like, yeah, this could come back to bite us if you guys do this the wrong way. So we're in a presidential campaign. think about what you're doing before you do it, but I don't have a problem with you really doing it. I'm just going to spout a whole bunch of nonsense at the beginning that would have been actual truth. So yeah, then Jeremy went and deleted the tweet that he did at her because it starts out sounding very based, like she actually gives a shit about the First Amendment. But by the end of it, no, she's just trying to protect her group. So, that was a funny moment in the quartering stream. We've lost a Shag, so
he'll be back. Comics, go for it, and I'll follow up after you. Comics.
Oh my God, I have to pull the thing up so I can actually read it.
Okay.
Well, are you just wanting my comments on it?
No. You were about to speak, and Shags is taking Shag probably went to go potty or something.
Bio break.
Oh no, I said if I was recording, I would have just replied back to her saying, "Oh, never mind, you're just a cunt,
dude." Oh no.
Okay, so I want to say something here to that. So okay, now that we've had this article tonight, remember, guys, us yelling gentlemen, yelling at parked cars. Remember when we were in the early stages of Elon Musk is in talks to negotiate with Twitter? Did you guys ever think it would get this far with Elon Musk owning Twitter? Because at the time, we were all like wondering if this would actually happen, because we didn't even know if that would actually happen, that the deal would happen.
I had faith. I went on record. You can go back in all the history about this conversation that if he actually followed through on purchasing the company, which I believed he would from the very beginning, that we would be here, Nick. I thought he would go about exposing everything. And believe me, this is nothing. This is not even a drop in the fucking bucket at this point. And I'm not even talking about the stuff he's covering here. The amount of personal data and information that gets transacted daily between bad actors, that's available to him, because all he has to do is operate within the TOS in the years that were covered, and believe me, they were fairly liberal for what the company could access. There's a lot of stuff in the background, folks, that is quite damning.
Yeah, I think regardless of the billionaire games that he was playing, I think he legit believes in liberty and free speech. So.
And culture, by liberal, you're meaning loosey-goosey, not politically left.
No. Well, both. But yeah, no, I mean, the terms of service, I'm talking about the terms of service at the time. You have to remember, I mean, operationally from about I'm going to go back to 2012, 2013, and I'm going to say the TOS for all of these socials started to change and clamp down on what you were allowed to talk about, which is weird because most of these entities launched with a very libertarian mindset. You can talk to comics about that, but
Jack really did. I mean, he basically initially tweeted, Twitter is the free speech wing of the free speech party, but that quickly changed.
Right.
Yeah. It brings to mind something that I saw. Oh, I don't remember how long ago it was, but it was basically speculation about Hillary's term was supposed to be Obama's third term, and Obama was supposed to set up all of this to a certain point, and then Hillary's presidency would bring about further destruction of the country in order for them to reshape it and remake it. Right, New World Order stuff.
Yeah. Because it was supposed to be that a Republican never was in office ever again. It was
that was the belief by a lot of people on the left that.
But if we're talking about a bunch of these terms of services starting to change about 2012, 2013, how much of that was in preparation for that, and then Trump came in and disrupted everything?
Who honestly, who's to say at this point? What you're getting at, I agree with, because you had a lot of people, even Saturday Night Live did a joke about it, that Bush was supposed to be the last Republican president, and everything would be Democrat through here on out. But the issue is the bull in the China shop won, and that disrupted their plans. I think that you are right that a lot of the WEF goals, the Democratic Party has been in line with the WEF for a number of years. They've been pushing these things. Trump derailed it for 4 years.
Yep.
Because originally
to win.
It was supposed to be it was Agenda 2025. Was that the original date, Nick? You remember?
Wasn't it 2035?
Yes.
No.
It was 2025. Then became 2030.
And it became 2030.
Okay.
Yes. I remember that because, and that's one thing. That's why they were so sure Trump was going to lose, because that's why they had all the polls so slanted towards Hillary, because like, oh, this is gonna be easy. Trump's a joke. No one's gonna value this. No one's gonna take him seriously. And then when he actually got their attention, that realized, oh crap, we need to take this guy seriously, because it was one of those equivalents of they got caught with their pants down. They had it so. The thing is, the fix was in dating back to 2016. The real question
further than that, actually. I mean, they've been trying. The West has been trying to get the Great Reset going since 2015.
Oh yeah,
but they keep pushing it out.
And Obama himself had said back when he was president that they had rigged elections.
Yeah,
I got the clip. He has said it word for word. I got the clip.
Pull that clip up because I want to hear it.
I have always thought that the bug. I have always thought
Biden definitely said it.
Plan, because if you think back, because St. Fauci had said that we were going to get one of these illness spreads by 2017. They knew it was coming because they were planning it to come. And I think the original plan was Hillary gets in office, all of this stuff happens, destroy the government or whatever, pandemic, new world order, because we're now everybody's in lockdown under house arrest, and we're going to roll out the National Guard and whatnot, and now everybody is, you're going to do what I say.
Well, the WHO did that. Crap, I'm totally blanking what it was called, but the WHO did something back in 2019 where they did their quote unquote war game about an outbreak.
Yeah, Event 21, I think it was called.
Event 21. Thank you. That is it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But up until 2016, the media and the left was just getting high on their own farts, thinking that, there's no way we can ever lose power again. I mean, you get that up into yourself, and things are going to come crashing down at some point. We hope that continues, but I never saw Obama admitting. I saw Joe Biden definitely admit it during the campaign.
Well,
this is the most rigged election in history, or something like that.
Here, I have the clip.
It's from John Talks' second channel. I saved it because I always save my receipts as soon as I get them, and I'm like, so this is when he was running for president.
As a 2-year senator who had no background except for a community organizer and being a black guy.
Well, don't forget also Rob Blagojevich, who did time for Obama's seat in Chicago, selling his seat.
Yeah,
they asked him in 2020. They asked him in 2020 how are the elections in Illinois corrupt? He said, "Is the Pope Catholic?" And I'm just like, even though we could question the current Pope nowadays to his slantedness, I'm just saying, take yourself out of that question, but just imagine in a normal world where you imagine a Pope being, I guess you could say, reasonable, for lack of a better term. Well, he's just basically saying, of course the systems was corrupt. It just goes to show you, Illinois, besides Arizona, has set the stage for gaming the system. Besides Arizona, Illinois got way ahead.
Chicago has always been known as the most corrupt city.
I know.
Yeah, but remember too that Obama won against a fill-in candidate because Jack Ryan was supposed to run, and he had a very solid lead, and he was the favorite to win until that whole stuff came out about him and his wife, Jerry Ryan, 7 of Knives and Star Trek, and the whole thing with swingers clubs and all of that. They did their best to take him out in order to make it possible for Obama to win that seat in the first place.
Damn.
And then they ruined his character on the new Amazon series.
Let's watch this. It's only
let's watch this real quick. It's only 41. Yeah.
That was a joke, Jay.
Well, I tell you what, it helps in Ohio that we got Democrats in charge of the machines.
See what I mean? It's better.
But look, I come from Chicago. So I want to be honest. It's not as if it's just Republicans who have monkeyed around with elections in the past. Sometimes Democrats have too. You know, whenever people are in power, they have this tendency to try to, tilt things in their direction.
Wow. Okay.
He's probably assuming that everybody is just going to think all the way back to Mayor Daley. Because that's anytime anybody thinks about corrupt Chicago politics, we always go back to
they do. That's right. No, you're right, Jason. They do. Because Mayor Daley was shoot to kill. Mayor Daley was a no BS guy. Whether you agree or disagree with his policies, he was not a fan of BS. But after that, it was all downhill from there. And the wrath of Chicago has basically exterminated the rest of the state of Illinois policy-wise. This is why I wish there was absolute separation between city and suburbs, because the thing is, both the city and the burbs both have their bubbles. I have lived enough years of my life in both sides to know both have their bubbles. But I can tell you for sure one thing: the bubble is so much worse on the city because the city never has to live by the rules of what goes on through outside of their city. Whereas the suburbs are always affected by what the city wants. But because they're affected by what the city wants, they have to be more on alert on what the city wants. They have to be the ones who are like, okay, look what's getting passed around here. Whereas the city people, and trust me, I've seen this, these people in the city, they just say, oh, hey, Democrat, check. Oh, hey, Democrat, check. They don't, if you ask them policy, ideas, ideology, most of them couldn't tell you. They just say Democrat across the ticket. Yeah, it doesn't matter why. You might as well say, hey, throw Dahmer and Bundy and Gary Ridgway all on the ticket, and they will still vote across them. Not even joking. Right. They will. They'll say, oh, we wouldn't do that. Yeah, you will. Yeah, you fucking will. Cunt.
Well, we're going far afield from the topic, but I mean that's why states, I think, should have electoral colleges too.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because of the governor.
That's way off topic.
Razorfist did a great video on that. Leave it to Razorfist on that one.
If you want to know how corrupt the U.S. government can be with elections and all that, just go read Confessions of an Economic Hitman, and you'll be just disgusted at what happens. Like people rig elections constantly. We do it in other countries. Yep. We've done it for years in other countries to take them hostage.
That's not a secret either.
No,
We've had a recent CIA director admit it.
Yeah. So but again, it's like one of those things, like you talk about it and you're like, oh, here's a conspiracy theory. It's like, no, they're openly admitting it. There's books on it. Like it's a pretty awful thing. But let's get back to the topic at hand here. Where were we? We're at 33, I think. Yeah. Within a day, head of public policy Lauren Culbertson receives a ghastly letter. I like that word, ghastly. Report from Carl Zasbo of the research firm NetChoice, which had already polled 12 members of Congress, 9 Republicans, 3 Democrats from the House Judiciary Committee to Representative Judy Chu's office. See, this is where there was a lot of people in this email. So I don't know. Like part of me thinks maybe you could have just blacked out that, but I don't know. Maybe these people just need to pay.
It's time to name names.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. Lauren, yesterday, NetChoice's Chris Marquise met informally with 9 Republicans, 3 Democrats, House staffers to gather intel about Facebook, Twitter, and the New York Post story. The staffers hail from the House Judiciary Committee to Representative Judy Chu's office. NetChoice let Twitter know a bloodbath awaits in upcoming Hills hearings, with members saying it's a tipping point, complaining tech has grown so big that they can't regulate themselves, so government may need to intervene. Yeah, right. High-level takeaway, every Republican said this is a tipping point, it's just too much, and both Democrats and Republicans were angry.
And we all know what happened with that.
Yeah.
And I just looked
Nothing.
it up.
Nothing. Yeah.
Just to give context, just looked it up. Judy Chu is another California congressional district congresswoman from the Democratic Party.
Right.
Been there since 2009, so she's been there a while now. So
yep. Talks, don't tell me how to run my show. Thanks.
Whoa, that's Tox. He's a producer. Come on,
I know. I'm just kidding.
He's kidding too.
Yeah, no, I know. Zabo reports to Twitter that some Hill figures are characterizing the laptop story as Tech's Access Hollywood moment. When asked just about
grab him by the pussy, interview.
When asked just how bad the situation is, one staffer said it's Tech's Access Hollywood moment, and it has no Hillary to hide behind. Others were more blunt. Tech is screwed, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
See, it's very telling that they say something about hiding behind Hillary, because what does that mean? What does that mean for what Hillary has been doing? All her years that she's been in the public arena.
Yep.
Well, I think it was a reference to, with the Access Hollywood. I think it was a reference to him saying something that was pretty misogynist.
Well, yeah, you basically already said the guy by the pussy.
Yeah, and Hillary being a woman, and that was the defense against that statement. When that was in the news cycle. I mean, I don't know that it means anything about Hillary doing anything other than being a woman in this case.
Yeah, that's how I read it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this was after Benghazi, wasn't it?
Everything's after Benghazi.
Pretty much. Yeah, Benghazi happened in Obama's regime.
Jason, what at this point does it matter?
Right?
Oh wait, what at this point does what point is this matter? What point does this matter at this point, or whatever it was? By the way, that is one of the best music video things I've ever seen in my life, where like she's being like let go for all of the multiple 14 crimes that she committed, and the FBI acknowledged, but she wasn't charged.
Buttery emails.
At this point, what matter does it
intent.
make? At this point, what matter does it make?
Yeah. No intent by Hillary to do anything wrong.
Except here's all the times that we have identified that she attempted to do all of these things. Like this, it was double speak on an epic level, and I've got to find that music video. I'm going to find
intent only matters about certain things. I
derailed this again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, you were
also,
on
I'm gonna derail too, because apparently Toxic Manflu is trying to mute Shags and he can't do it.
Yeah, he doesn't have producer abilities.
Sorry, Tox. So the First Amendment isn't absolute, apparently. Zabo's letter contains chilling passages relaying Democratic lawmakers' attitudes. They want more moderation. And as for the Bill of Rights, it is not absolute. So just to clarify again, because I was under the impression that Matt Taibbi was like a raging leftist. Isn't that like kind of his thing? Is it? Or I mean, I know he's an investigative journalist. But
yeah, he is definitely.
He's a real journalist, but he is on the left.
He is on the left. I don't know about a raging leftist, but he is. But he's an actual journalist. He's an actual investigative journalist.
Yeah, like somebody who should have awards if he doesn't. I don't know if
like all those people that work for CNN, ABC, CBS, MSNBC. Like those people.
Fair and Balanced was on with Quartering, and she said that Taibbi is one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, so far it's like great. Like none of this reads as if it were someone from the left, which is, it's nice to know. Because when I first saw, Matt Taibbi reported this, I'm like, wait a minute. Like I know this name, and it's not one I actually seek out that often because I know, his politics. So,
well, it depends on if your integrity is more important than your viewpoint.
Oh, well, that's what it should
be. And I think apparently, to him, his integrity is more important.
And that's good, because that's why I will openly give credit to someone regardless of party or who they vote for, because they're putting the story for it, which is what actual journalism stood for and what it should be going forward in the future, should there be actual journalism again.
Well,
go
ahead.
I
was just go, Jason.
I was going to say when I was younger, I came to an insight. There is a difference between journalists and reporters. Mm-hmm. And when I was in school, we wrote book reports. And here's what the book is about, and it was more of a factual presentation of information, right? And my sister was a year behind me in school, and they started doing journals, right? And journals were more the diary entries and the more personal things. And it strikes me that if you consider yourself a reporter, it's a frame of mind thing. Reporters are going to report just the facts. Here's the information we know. Journalists are those we're going to change the world types who put everything within an emotional context. And I don't know how accurate that is as far as how it applies to modern day journalism. But to me, it seems like that's something that we run into when you get people like this, Taibbi, who's on the left. But you're right, integrity matters more than ideology.
Yeah.
And we're going to report what we find out without a bunch of spin.
I'm going to push back on you a little bit, because the whole point of you're slightly right, like with the journaling thing. But the whole point of a journalist is that they are basically journaling the events of something. You know, it's I mean, I think with modern context, or just maybe over the last 40 years, it's become more perverted. But the idea that you're supposed to be journaling the events of what is occurring, not so much, you know, giving your opinion as much as you're chronicling something.
Right.
And I think that's where the term journalist came from. Journalist, reporter. I mean, I always viewed them as being the same thing.
Well,
maybe they're not. I don't know.
I think the two terms have evolved, because, you know,
I think you're right there.
Journals and diaries always involve a lot more of the emotional side of things. And I think it maybe has spun out into, because how many people go to journalism school to change the world? You know, we're going to have an impact.
And that's actually the question that should be asked each and every time. And I know, Jason, you probably read the same article I did, that the AP was trying to funnel out at least some of these people, because as part of their job interview, they would ask them, why do you want to work at the AP? And if the person answered, because I want to change the world, they knew they were an activist.
Yeah.
Right.
And not a journalist.
Yeah, and I think we've got way too many of those that have slipped through that filter.
Oh yeah, I think going back, building on Culture's point, is that's really what happened, is that journalism stopped being journalism and it started becoming activism.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
the point I was going to make is Elon personally handed over all this information. I'm sure he either knows this guy very well, or he investigated him very well, or had somebody do it for him to know whether this guy would come out with a, you know, pretty neutral take on it and just write up an investigative journalist, you know, discovery.
He's actually an award-winning writer. I mean, there's a lot of background there. In fact, you know, you're already seeing the spin, ladies and gentlemen, coming out of the trade papers in Hollywood, Variety. I placed an article in the background here of how they're going to go about trying to redirect people's thought process when it comes to this, because they're terrified that the masses are going to discover that this was all a lie. And it would be awful if Hollywood recognized that they were part of a vast lie.
Well, you know, there's people working overtime to try and correct the narrative, right?
But here's the problem: they can't afford overtime right now, so that they're going to work a handful of people.
With the CNN layoffs.
No, real quick, I want to finish the whole thing with my point to Jason. So typically, a reporter is somebody who goes out on scene and reports what is going on currently, whereas a journalist, like I said, journals an entire thing. They write the piece, right? Yeah, they actually do the research, where a reporter's like on the scene with this crash.
And look, it's mostly peaceful protests, and behind me is this giant inferno.
That's a reporter.
I'm hearing you make a distinction without a difference, because the way you're describing it, journals, you know, journaling the thing, it's the same as reporting. Here's what happened.
Well, the main difference is that typically, like, an investigative journalist actually involves research. They go out and they do the research and then basically write their quote unquote report. Where a reporter goes out on scene saying, "Hey, look, there was this murder. I'm interviewing this person." That's kind of the big difference, is that typically investigative journalism took a lot of research to basically, you know, format the piece. Whereas a reporter is just there.
You're still reporting on what you've researched and found out.
Well, yeah, but they're reporting on something, but it's what the difference is the amount of time I would say that would go into it and whether it's actually live or not.
Yeah, I know a lot of reporters here in my local area. The difference between a journalist and a reporter is a reporter typically is a person reading the teleprompter. They're not digging up the facts. They're not giving their story. They're reading the story that is given to them. A journalist is somebody who is actually trained or supposed to be trained to do the research, find the facts, and create their own story from what they have been sent out to dig up. So a reporter, the weatherman is a reporter. The weatherman may be a meteorologist. He may have studied, but I mean, ultimately, he's just reporting what is coming across to him. A journalist,
the information that was given.
A journalist is more like a journalist is like a private detective. They're going to go actually dig into details.
And journalist finds the story, and the reporter reports on what other journalists find.
Well, and that's true. I mean, a quality journalist is going to investigate things, but you're 100% right, Brahma. The problem is that a lot of these people just became political animals, like at birth. I mean, like the moment they entered college or even in high school, at some point, whatever it was, their political funny bone got tickled. Even if you are a weatherman, I mean, just look at Bob Iger, the weatherman, who weaseled his way up through ABC to become, the most powerful entertainment media mogul at this point.
I'm not gonna slide him for starting off as a weatherman because everybody starts off in the mailroom at some point.
That wasn't a slight. I'm just saying.
I agree with what you're saying, Culture. I mean, but the traditional definitions are what I was trying to get at.
And
a journalist does something.
Everybody makes really good points, but having spent 34 years in the media, I'm gonna kind of stick to my own bias.
No, I accept what you're saying as well, Jason, because you're right. There's a distinction without a difference here. Now, there didn't
your experience matters.
Yeah,
too.
I agree. Now it's all blended together. This is activism. It's not. It's
now
not journalism.
And we've truly taken over Shags' show.
Well, yeah, because Shag's not here.
Him out completely.
It's because of Tox's tip, by the way.
This really is yelling at parked cars, the Friday edition.
Tox slid in Shags, and Shags pulled out, and now we lost Shags. No, look at the comment.
He said just the tip, right? I mean, just
that. So now we know Tox is somewhere in there. There's a schlong.
Just a tip.
Bangs Shags.
Can I promote something real quick since we're not gonna be able to do much else?
The flu in the machine.
No. Well, gross. Wow. Tomorrow we're doing a little bit of investigative journalism ourselves over on Latino Slant's channel. If you check out Paulie's channel tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, that's noon Mountain. It's 1 with the Central and it's 2 on the East. We are doing a thorough interview with Sasheen Littlefeathers, one of her sisters, to talk about her background and how it's at odds with how she portrayed herself in Hollywood when she accepted the award.
That was the Marlon Brando
on
thing?
Marlon Brando's behalf.
Okay.
For The Godfather. That's right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I thought it came out that she wasn't a little feather at all.
Look, tomorrow is going to be gold. Do check it out. This is a lovely person. It's going to give us an entire familial background and maybe eat into, part of the larger fairy tale. I mean, we are talking about Hollywood. So
I do have a problem with the way you called it
his journalism.
Shag back.
Hold on. There we go.
That typically helps.
I did that because Toxic Man Flu came through with a $12.34. So thank you, sir. Appreciate you. He said a real show producer would have muted Culture Casino 10 times by now. Shagsworth. Hashtag noob.
Actually, I think I would be the one getting nuked tonight. I've talked
that's actually true. I mean, Tox is great at muting me.
Brahma was ready tonight. He was ready to come.
Oh, he's not the only one who mutes you. Culture.
Oh, I know, Dick. I'm sorry. I mean, comics.
So Sorry, my internet dropped out, so that's what happened. But
well, no, you followed one of Tox's tips. I mean, we saw it.
Tip was too strong.
You accepted just a tip,
and you'll notice that the man
every
bun
time.
It sure is.
You accept just a tip, and it always goes deeper.
Yeah.
I do not accept your gendered language. It's a bitch bun.
Shag's got looser.
You put
just
your
with
hair up.
Tox's
No,
tip.
no. Well, no. No. Masculine up, dude. No. I didn't notice that you went bitch bun. Get that thing. Come on.
We got what? 2 tweets left?
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's, before my net drops out again, let's continue on through I read the synopsis. The Democrats, meanwhile, complained that companies are inept. They let conservatives muddy the water and make the Biden campaign look corrupt, even though Biden is innocent. They linked this to Hillary Clinton's email scandal, so she did nothing wrong, but because the press wouldn't let the story go, it became a scandal far out of proportion. In their mind, social media is doing the same thing. It doesn't moderate enough harmful content. So this word harmful. So when it does, like it did
violence
yesterday,
goes back to violence.
Story.
No. Harmful means harmful to our campaign.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
AKA a threat to our democracy.
Yeah, a threat to our democracy.
AKA words are violence.
Yeah.
Remember, this is October late, right before the election.
Yeah. Now it looks like we're closing in like the third week of October here. So
yep.
And this is still the same guy from NetChoice, the research firm. So he clearly got a bias already.
Yep.
Going into it.
The Democrats were in agreement. Social media needs to moderate more because they're corrupting democracy. And wow, can we go over the irony of that statement?
Yes.
And making all truth relative when pushed on how the government might insist on that, consistent with the First Amendment. The First Amendment isn't absolute. So this hogwash of the Democrats are in agreement. So that means that's what we do. Social media is to moderate. It needs to moderate more because.
Well, hang on. The other thing too is that they always like to say, "Oh, the First Amendment's not absolute. You can't scream fire in a crowded theater."
Actually,
yes, you can.
You can if there's a fire in the freaking theater.
Yeah. Well, it's just funny because like they're trying to talk about corrupting democracy when they're the ones doing it because they're only taking the side of the Democrats. It's like,
well, they don't view themselves as corrupting democracy. They view themselves as fixing it, just like
Right.
how they view themselves as fixing entertainment.
Yeah, but
because
this
they
is
don't
saying
have a moral code. They think anything that is what they want is always right. This is why it drives me fucking crazy when you see like a Ted Cruz type go on there and try to gain some reason on them. They're never gonna reason. They're never gonna admit that they're wrong. They're never gonna say, "Oh, I see it from your side." They're never gonna do that. It's fucking useless playing this softball bullshit. Fucking lock these people up, make them pay for their time and what they've done.
Well, you also have to remember here for reading this, the Democrats are saying that the social media outlets are corrupting democracy by letting the harmful speech happen.
Yeah.
It's not the Democrats sitting there saying, well, we're harming it. They're blaming Twitter for harming democracy by letting some of this stuff get posted.
Let's also
that's what they're doing now.
Yeah, and they're saying we need to moderate this stuff. We need to censor more.
This was the time that the phrase "my truth" started coming about. It isn't truth; it's my truth, and
which is bullshit.
That's what they're talking about with truth relative. It's my truth matters, and that truth only matters if it was speaking from one side of the aisle.
That's true, but I did put the wonderful music video about Hillary.
I saw that and I saved it to watch.
Yeah,
later.
you definitely want to. For those of you in the background, you do want to save that. But look, this is not something new. We've been talking about journalistic corruption for a long period of time. The fact that it's only driven by one side of the aisle, and that really isn't even the problem here. It's the fact that you cannot get accurate information to the populace if you're being blocked at every level, including social media, which is supposed to be an open town square. We're supposed to be able to have street preachers here, guys standing on the corner telling you that the end is nigh. You're supposed to be able to have the guy with the you know, the horns on his head and, you know, the pentagram on his chest telling you something completely different. There is no barrier to what you should be exposed to in the public square, right? In the confines of your own home and within, you know, your certain level of discretion personally. You know, you can definitely manage everything that comes inside those areas. But outside of that, that's freedom, kids. That's liberty. Liberty's out there.
Shut down Balenciaga, not everybody's talking points.
But if you convince enough people that, you know, words are violence, that's how they get this stuff through.
But that's a lie. Violence is violence, and we watched it. I mean, you know, you have who's the chick that's the VP right now that's just dumb as rocks? Anyway, yeah. She's in the process of trying to like back away from the fact that she was bailing out Antifas and BLMs, you know, and supporting that and all of the stuff. She just didn't delete all the shit that like made it pretty obvious that that's what she was doing.
That's interesting.
But without like public people like you and specifically comics and, you know, obviously Jason and a few other people here on this panel, this would not be something that people would know because it's not going to get broadcast far and wide. It's why I'm grateful to the people that I get to hang out with on YouTube. Oh, well, there's a lot here, bro. Sorry.
Well,
but no, it's fine. I was just saying
our esteemed vice president, when she was back in the Attorney General's office in the state of California, nobody wanted to work with her either. I've got a contact who used to work in that arena, and everybody hated her.
Willie Brown really liked working with her.
No, I wonder
it wasn't working with her; it was her working him.
Working above her.
But the fact that she, you know, her policies in her selective enforcement of the law.
I mean, she kept people in jail so that they could use them as labor.
And she used a particular law that was put in place by a white-haired gentleman who occupies a very high office at the moment.
But let's be real. I mean, we're all of a certain age. We all heard the saying, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me."
Yeah,
that's right.
It's completely reversed at this point in whatever timeline this is. Sticks and stones aren't a problem. Words are what is actually going to destroy you.
Yeah, well, the
words will hurt
people
me.
Are idiots.
The generation they're in between us and our parents raised a bunch of fucking pussies. So
big, smelly, stinky ones.
Yeah. I mean, like we're talking like Alyssa Milano, stanky, pissy smelling pussies.
Yep, I agree. All right, we're getting to the end here. Let's finish it out. An amazing subplot of the Twitter Hunter Biden laptop affair was how much was done without the knowledge of CEO Jack Dorsey, and how long it took for the situation to get unfucked, as one ex-employee put it, even after Dorsey jumped in. While reviewing Gad's emails, I saw a familiar name, my own. Dorsey sent her a copy of my Substack article blasting the incident. I like how they blocked out his email here, but forgot to here. That's interesting.
Notice that. That's a weird thing.
So forwarded with the Hunter Biden Expo, suppression is a bigger scandal than the actual story. I didn't read that. Now I want to go read it because I did not read that article. There are multiple instances in the files of Jack Dorsey intervening to question suspensions and other moderation actions for accounts across the political spectrum. So good on him, because it does sound like he tried, but like I think some of you had said like he did what he could to sort of keep himself out of it once he finally was in it. But he couldn't have stayed out of it for very long. The problem with the quote-unquote hack materials ruling, several sources said, was that this normally required an official law enforcement finding of a hack. But such a finding never appears throughout what one executive describes as a whirlwind 24-hour company-wide mess, which is probably putting it lightly now.
Yes.
Hi, Owls. As you probably are aware, Twitter action tweets yesterday relating to two New York Post articles that were tweeted out that allegedly included pictures and screenshots of emails from a laptop that allegedly belonged to Hunter Biden, the presidential candidate, Joe Biden's son. Our teams made the determination that the materials fall under our hacked materials policy, in addition to sharing personal information, so links were actioned. As you may know, this existing policy framework was launched in 2018 to mitigate real-time harm based on hack and leak scenarios coming out of the 2016 election. Several high-profile accounts, including press outlets, were impacted by this decision and were actioned. Unfortunately, the language that was provided in the product may have created confusion, indicating the links were spam or unsafe. Consequently, Twitter Safety explained the reasoning here in a thread. This morning, the New York Post tweeted additional links to stories that contained pictures and screenshots of emails that we also actioned. The teams determined that the Trump campaign tweet that previously was actioned for the containing PPI would not be reactioned when it was retweeted without the PPI blurred. Is this the McEnany tweet that they're referring to there? Or is it something else?
It's probably still referring to the New York Post.
Okay. Well, because it mentioned the Trump campaign, but I know there are questions.
I guess that could be the McEnany stuff then.
Yeah, I know that there are questions that you probably have and are also probably getting a lot of incoming from stakeholders, governmental, academic, civil society, etc. The last 24 hours certainly have been a whirlwind with a lot of curves and unknowns, and we fully expect that the issues surrounding the matter will continue to swirl in the days coming and or years. So thank you to everyone for your patience. It's been a whirlwind, 96 hours for me too. There is much more to come, including answers to questions about issues like shadow banning, boosting follower accounts, the fate of various individual accounts, and more. These issues are not limited to the political right. Of course they're not. Good night, everyone, and thanks to everyone who picked up the phone the last few days.
Well, remember, they were going after anti-war campaign protesters on the left too. So, they have been targeting the left, obviously, when it was inconvenient to the establishment, like the anti-war left.
Yeah. Right. I find it very telling too that they say when they're describing stakeholders, government is the first one on the list, academic and civil. That's all of the the community organizer types.
That's on purpose, by the way.
Oh yeah, that is. That's all great research shit.
Yeah, and nothing here about ordinary citizens, users of the platform, none of that, because we don't have any stakes in Twitter. We're the product.
Yep.
Yeah. So the question is now is like, okay, I mean, there's more to come. So yay, I'm very excited about that.
Party drops tomorrow.
Yep.
Are you allowed to say yay on the internet anymore?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but what about yay?
Boy, that got buried real quick by tonight, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you make it think it makes me kind of wonder if maybe it was intentional, as an FU to Kanye from Elon.
Right.
Ooh,
could be.
Yeah, I can actually see that as a way to spite Kanye.
Elon's kind of petty like that.
And let's be, I was gonna say Elon
great.
does know how to play the game, and he understands like how to distract, how to take away from things. So yeah, and the fact that he owns Twitter, he's gonna use that to his advantage.
Well, the whole Elon, or it's not Elon, the whole Ye thing, the whole Kanye thing. It's all a bunch of fucking smoke anyway. I mean, the dude, like he's not going to become president. I mean, his candidacy is doomed. He's being used by Nick Fuentes and Milo Yiannopoulos, or I guess maybe
I think Milo's gone.
Yeah,
all three of them are gone.
The fact that this is happening, and it's not a real story. The whole Kanye thing is not a real story. It's irrelevant compared to the shit that we're seeing coming out of Twitter right now. Twitter is the more important thing, and that's what people should be paying attention to.
Yep.
The whole Kanye thing is just fucking drama, is all it is.
I had a theory that there were four possibilities as far as the Kanye thing goes. Either he's just completely cracked in the head, or he's completely genuine and sincere what he thinks, or this is a bit, or it's psychological operations. He's controlled opposition. I think he's doing a bit, and I think Elon just nuked the bit for whatever it is that Kanye is about to go out and start selling. I think this is all. This was all a publicity stunt leading up to whatever it is he's about to put out there.
It's a possibility, but I think personally, my thoughts are he's not in a good place, and he's being used by Nick Fuentes and Milo, or at least
and I don't
at
even
one
think,
point Milo.
I don't think Nick is smart enough to do that. I think Nick is like a tag along, and like Kanye, I think is many things. He's never been a good public speaker ever. I think there's 100% some sort of mental illness at play that's going untreated at the moment, and I think with Milo wanting to kind of come back out into the spotlight, Kanye is a very impressionable person around, big figures, and Milo in his day was provocateur number one. Like
Indeed.
He was there to push the envelope. And if you watch what happened over the past couple of days, it almost seems something right out of his playbook. Now Milo wasn't on screen. It was Nick, but like on InfoWars. But I get the feeling it's more Milo whispering in his ear to like, hey, this is what you should do. Like, this is what the world needs. It needs more people. I don't have the energy to do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. You should do it because people already think that you're a little nuts. So let's just play this out and see where it goes. That's the impression I got. I don't want to make excuses for the shit he said.
I think when Laura Loomer exposed Milo a few minutes before that interview started, he no longer has a job with Kanye. Even though, I don't know what a job with Kanye actually means at this point.
Yeah.
I think Nick Fuentes saw somebody who is also being very anti-Semitic and said, yeah, I can latch on to that because that's my brand. Yeah. I don't know if Nick is actually anti-Semitic, but he's done enough to build up a brand that says he is.
Yeah,
I think it's an act with him.
I don't know, dude. He said some shit even on the Jones podcast. That's like, dude, it's pretty apparent that he has a problem with Jewish people.
I get what you're saying, and I said much the same Thursday night on your stream.
Right.
He giggles so much that I think he thinks it's funny to rile people.
I think he does think it's funny.
I don't know that he actually believes it as much as he thinks it's funny to rile people up.
Well, I mean, can you explain the gimp suit look?
Well, someone said that's a Balenciaga
it is a Balenciaga mask.
So he's leaning into the
No, he's leaning into the I love everybody and you can't blame them for the things that they're doing.
Right.
I mean, Kanye's screwed up in the head. I mean, there's no getting around that.
Yeah, it's owned by a bad company for a long time, and with all the wealth he has, people, when you have that type of wealth and fame that he has, you're gonna get people who just want to use you, no matter what. It's hard to have friends in that type of position.
Look at this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back to saying it's not important. The Twitter stuff is more important.
It is. Always.
Oh, no, it is by a landslide.
Oh, I'm not the only one making friends.
Called Tom a bot?
Yeah. I'm not the only God. I'm not the only one making friends here. Nick also made friends here.
I made friends with Cusack too. I called him a cunt.
Yeah, well, I didn't say anything.
I truly loved Cusack throughout all of the 80s and 90s.
I did
Me too.
Every movie, those were some of my favorite movies. It's so sad to see these idiots expose themselves.
I was actually just sharing that with everybody here. I didn't mean for you to show it.
No, I think that's hilarious.
But that's funny.
I love
Tom a bot. I've talked to Tom.
Tom's not a bot. I'm like, I think you meant to say you're a bot, not your bot. What?
I mean, Tom's kind of a bot. He just shows up and says, "Hey guys," and then goes into a voice. But I mean, we love Tom.
I have to wonder how many Hollywood types are performing with all of this
performative,
all of this virtue signaling.
Yeah,
they're doing it to stay safe. It's covered.
Well, no, Jason, and you're going to know this, and this is why I'm going to redirect this right back at you. How many of them have the word activist in their bio?
Yeah.
I just think it's funny when these actors engage. When they engage normal people, like with that actress from She-Hulk was going back and forth with everyone. It's just shut up. What do you do? This is not what you do. I don't know. I mean, okay, I guess you can be passionate.
Jamil has done that from the beginning of her career.
Yeah,
I don't know about
she's
Tatiana or whatever her name is, but
Yeah.
Jamil is an activist.
Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, she's pro-activist.
Jamil is an activist through and through. That's all she's done from the second she got a chance, and that was on The Good Place.
Yeah, she was in The Good Place.
Yeah. Oh, and that was actually her role in The Good Place was quite good. She did a great job. She is a cunt. I mean, she was on that show.
Shut the up.
Yeah, she did a good job. I don't usually say bad words.
Not you.
You guys are influencing me to say bad words. Hey,
Well,
hey, Shags. I noticed that you've gone with the less masculine look recently.
Yep. That's how we do that. Yes, I have. You know what? Every now and then, I have a lot of hair to support on my face and on my head, more than you, sir. So, you know, every now and then I gotta understand that when my hair gets to the length that you're rocking right now,
I'm pretty sure he's saying that it's a weave, sir.
I donate my hair.
Gets to that length,
I donate my hair.
mocking you even more.
No, I donate my hair because I like other people, and I think that when they get cancer, it's good to like donate some of my benefit to other people.
And remember, Culture is part Sasquatch, and he did have to trim back his beard. It was pretty big. I mean, did you see the Harry and the Hendersons meme of Culture because he knows Harry? I mean, it was just right.
Okay, so
just right.
But here's the weird thing. So wherever Shags is, I feel like I have to go there because I had the best live stream of my life with Shags and a table full of
Shags
dummy guys.
You go.
Yeah, I was very disappointed that I couldn't get Comics there and Brahma there and Toxic Man flew there.
Yeah, what stream was this?
It was the dump. It was the dump. It was Scotty's stream. We did it live in the table at the Boomer House.
That was amazing.
We weren't there.
I know you should have been there. I'm very sad.
I'm
next year
too about that.
So here's the question:
we need to have
who wants to live stream tomorrow night?
We need Jason with us too for it. Jason needs to come.
I know. Okay, so I think
I am in Kansas City, which means I'm equidistant to everybody because it's at the center of the center of the country. So
it's too far north. I mean, come down to Texas.
North.
I grew up in Dallas, so I hate Kansas City.
Okay, so we'll go into San Antonio area. We're gonna rent a big conference room like every night. We're gonna set up a table. We're gonna call it the live sessions. We're gonna have the live sessions for the Dick sessions. The live Dick sessions. That sounds like gross, but I mean, I think we need that. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now.
Listen, I'm manifesting a bright future for myself. All right, guys, I'm just going to show you a very quick preview of what's coming in like the next few weeks.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
Well, I haven't been invited, so
is it full of ranch?
No, not yet. Well, it'll be filled to the brim.
Okay.
No, not really.
What's the thing that Green Rocks always brings with him?
A monkey.
The schmata.
The schmata.
So
we can't see that. That's like bad YouTube. What are you doing here?
It's currently under construction.
Oh, you're building a studio like I got.
Yeah, so we're building it out. It's in the room right next to me, actually. Nice. The GIMP is sleeping, so we have to be quiet. All right. But yeah, so the goal is to manifest such a awesome, bright, beautiful future that we have a table in there that you guys come and you sit around and you break bread with me, and we talk politics and we talk movies and we talk all the things, and we just have a grand old time. So please,
Plus, Shags is having a meetup in Colorado Springs.
When is this?
Well, yeah, we want to do something like that, either Colorado Springs or Salt Lake City. But I'm close enough to Vegas. We're going to Vegas.
Everybody in your chat said Colorado Springs.
Did they say Springs? Okay, we'll go to Springs.
In March.
Wait. If we go to Vegas, hang on. I have an in for us in a professional studio that's coming in the very near future in Vegas. Okay. We can all go there. We don't have to bring a lot of gear. It'll all be there, and we can.
That's another meetup.
Well, okay, but I'm just saying, it's like we need to start doing these things. Have like these studio locations where we can go hang out.
Speaking of, Nobody knows this yet. I could get in trouble for saying this, but No Green Rock's birthday is next Friday.
Oh shit! Really?
Speaking of No Green Rocks, I'm gonna have him as a guest on this coming Toxic Tuesday. For
Oh shit! I
Only
need to
Live
ping him
Twice.
and see if I'm still supposed to be on a show tomorrow.
Okay, but here's the thing. So
That's my line. You used my line.
Yes, I did.
We're celebrating his birthday early. Ooh.
Yeah, but his birthday, we are going to be in studio in my garage together.
That sounds cold.
Next Friday. Oh, it's cold, but we're gonna have a lot of bourbon.
So
we're still planning out the details.
When is this?
But,
when is this happening?
Next Friday.
Next
probably.
Friday.
I can't. I don't want to go to Denver.
Come on the comic
It's
shop.
not Denver. It's Colorado Springs.
I don't know where that is.
Sir Talks a Lot may be there.
Oh, nice.
I don't.
No Green Rocks.
And
His
like
brother may
drive.
be here. Okay. So we're going to have a lot of bourbon. I'm going to reset everything around my poker table in the other side of the garage. We haven't finalized the details yet.
So
but me and Green Rocks want to do something in person for his birthday.
So if I fly,
you also have the added factor of Steven Crowder is on Friday Night Tights.
What?
So am I gonna fly? Yeah, that's next Friday. So
Seriously,
so we're trying
Crowder's gonna be on next Friday.
Yeah, Crowder's on next week.
So
I'm pretty sure that was public knowledge. But
Yeah,
I didn't catch
something up.
FNT. I didn't catch FNT tonight. I
Yeah,
wanted
to the
to
end, so
because I saw Gothics was on there. I wanted to catch it, but I had a busy day.
But Green Rocks, me, Green Rocks' his brother, we're gonna have some bourbon. We're gonna have a camera. We're gonna be doing a live thing
camera.
I have a camera culture. I don't have
singular.
I don't have 20 like you do. We're probably gonna have a mic also going omnidirectional. But
what? You only have one camera?
No, I have two. The other one is just a piece of crap.
Technically, I only have one camera
like
too.
Zoom. But we are going to do something, and it may because of the Crowder announcement, it may not end up being Friday. But we are doing something for Green Rocks' birthday, where you will have a few of us live here drinking bourbon, and we will bring in whatever guests that want to come on, because Green Rocks, the Legion of Memers, we're gonna do something. I will if you come out,
and then will somebody pour me back into a plane?
I will if you come out.
All right.
But you have to also have a plethora of this.
Yeah, how do you get that from the airport?
It's called going to a liquor store.
Well, you come to where I'm at, and I give you a plethora of this.
Okay, that sounds good.
Right.
What the hell is hard about that culture?
I don't. Well, first of all, Mrs. Flu won't be there to mix my drink. So,
God, what a bitch.
Yeah.
Neat is what matters.
Not only with scotch. The rest of that stuff's bullshit.
Oh, so another announcement. I closed my agency this week. I sold it, and I took another position, and so now I have a one of the it's like the Deep Rock water cooler things, the water dispensers. With the 5-gallon jugs. I have no place to put it, so it's out here next to me.
Nice.
I need a poll in chat. Should I fill one of those 5-gallon jugs with bourbon and just dispense bourbon from this?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, the answer is yes.
I will bring.
I think so too. But my dad, my mom, my wife, and my kids were like, "You're a damn idiot."
I'm going to bring.
I'm surprised they didn't end that with "you're a damn alcoholic."
I'm going to bring $200 with me, and we can put that on tap, bitches.
So it's like a water cooler that you could put.
Yeah, it's an underloading water cooler with the 5-gallon jugs. So should we fill a jug with just some cheap bourbon.
Oh, no, not
5
cheap,
gallons
like
of it.
decent, halfway decent bourbon.
There you go, chat. Did the poll go in?
Yeah,
But
I voted
but then
already.
if anybody
I
comes
voted
over
yes.
to the whatever, it's not a studio, it's a freaking garage. But when people come open,
come open,
yeah, we just have glasses and we literally just hit the button and bourbon dispenses.
Take me drunk, I'm home.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Rogue Thought over on Rumble says
speaking
that's
of which,
always
I
a
gotta
yes.
get out of here, guys. It's almost 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
Comics. It's been pleasurable.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
been a lot of fun.
We've had a week.
Got anything you want to play?
we went to a lot of places tonight where
We did.
yeah.
I'm gonna be on the Legion of Memers tomorrow. At some time, as long as nothing explodes like last week. So, yeah,
I was happy to fill in for you last week, Comics.
Oh, okay. I'm glad he was able to get somebody to fill in.
Yeah.
I hated canceling on, but yeah. Initially, I was supposed to go see my parents on Saturday. I should say my mom and my grandmother. And then my dogs got into a fight on Friday, and that fucked everything up. So yeah, everything worked out. Anyway, so catch me on Green Rocks, our Legion of the Memers channel tomorrow. Of course, Yelling at Park Cars, where we'll have Southern Belle back on, and she's got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. And of course, we have the I'm trying to find a way of doing like MCU, but for Thursday Night Throwdown, because we're having like Nina and Tugs and X-Ray Girl and I believe Chrissy as well. So yeah, the girls are taking over Thursday.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's pretty much it. Member stream. I have a member stream coming up on Sunday as well. So
nice, man.
8 o'clock.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight, man. I really appreciate your time. And
thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Good
night, everyone. I'll catch you later.
Good night,
See you, sir.
Hi, Comics.
Our Lord and Savior Comics Division. He brought us all dicks together, and now we are a bunch of wangs without him, without direction.
There's the water dispenser with the Keurig on top.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is I might do Texas twice next year, and if there's a Dallas meetup, I'll do that, and I'm also hitting Houston in March. So
nice.
I hope to hang out with people both times, meetup or no meetup. So I want that shit to be huge.
Huge. Comics remembered it all. I know. I'm impressed. He didn't even need you.
Yeah.
Looks like you're out of a job, Talks. Oh boy. Yeah, it's getting pretty late for me too. We should probably wrap it up. Jason, why don't you tell people what you got going on, what's happening, what you got, what's coming up for you?
Right now I am deep in the weeds prepping for tomorrow morning's show and getting all this ready because we have our big 2-hour show with all the news of the week at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then on Monday, we've got H2O Podcast Monday night. And then I have Live from the Bunker weekdays, 1 o'clock Eastern. So that's
better. And that's better than your show Dead from the Bunker. So I like that one.
Yeah, right. I got a few of those. But yeah, we're all over the place. Anybody can find us. We're on all these different social media channels and platforms and video channels, and we're on Odyssey and Rumble. And we broadcast live to Facebook, Odyssey, and YouTube. Wow. And then the YouTube ports over to Rumble as well. We're not live over there yet.
Okay, nice. I was able to game the system a little bit since I do video game streams too. I was able to get on there doing live streams before I hit 100 subs. So, but yeah, but I pretty much hung up the. What's that?
Gay streaming?
Yes, that's that. You know,
Culture, don't you have a gaming channel?
I do. Yeah.
So you're gay streaming?
No, I'm gaming streaming.
Oh, okay.
Brahma, what's happening with you, sir?
He's smoking elegantly.
Yes, that's what I do. I put my Rumble link in the private chat because I'm not a mod on this channel, but my Rumble channel.
Wow.
Dude.
Saturday nights, I do a stream, Bourbon and Boarding, where we talk hockey and bourbon. And if you want something that isn't negative and we talk about something we love, it's me and that 70s rock fan. And I do it on my Rumble. He does it on his YouTube. And we talk about something we love, hockey and bourbon. So come check that out. The rest of the time you can check me out on Comics Division channel on Yelling at Parked Cars and Thursday Night Throwdown. And yeah, I bounce around. I mean, you'll see me everywhere. So
he's the village like.
That's so fucking hot.
I'm a stream whore. So yeah, Shags, thanks for having us on tonight. I know you usually do these solo, but this was a great talk, I thought. So
yeah, this was fun. No, I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Had a great time. Thank you to all the other guys who came on tonight too. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow night on Bourbon and Boarding.
Heck yeah, Culture Casino. Stop doing. Just like get off your phone.
I'm just making.
Look at that cock.
I'm just making.
He's ready to get back into bed.
He's like, oh my god, the cock.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I get that kind of response pretty much ever since I was about 11 years old. Anyway, let's see. I have a YouTube channel. I have a Rumble channel. I have an Odyssey channel. I have a channel. I do live streams and videos. I do 20 videos. It's courtesy of Mr. Grant Gregory, who edits them because fudge. It looks like I'm smoking a big doob right now because I'm like lined up right over the top of Elon Musk at the moment. What else is going on? I have the Twitters and I have the Minds and I have the Getters. I had a Parlors. I still do, but I don't even look there anymore.
Yeah.
And Truth was too hard to like work. So I'm like, nah. So, but I'm doing good on Twitter now. People like me. And,
you should tell Trump to get back on Twitter.
I tried. He didn't listen. I'll send him a personal note. But honestly, thanks everybody. We had a good time. We dixed up this place. It was a good time.
The Shaggy Dicks. So I'm telling you, man.
We had a lot of hair here. Did you notice how much hair was on this stream?
Yep.
I'm like, good Lord.
I had none of it.
No,
that's why like Brahma's the diversity hire here. That's
it's true.
Nick Weiser.
There's the hair, baby.
Yes.
The ring.
What you got going on, pal?
All right, so I got Toxic Tuesday. You only live twice. I got No Green Rocks from the Legion of Memers as a guest. It's gonna be so fucking huge. We are the pre-show birthday party for that man, and I know so because not only is it because I said it is, because he told me so as well. So come check that out. Also, I was on Deprogram with Carrie Smith yesterday on her channel. That was a great show.
Yeah, it was a great show, man.
Thank you guys. She's a great interviewer. I also have the Comic Shop Talk as well, and you can find me on Yelling at Parked Cars, Thursday Night Throwdown, Comics Division, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm finally gonna start putting out videos again next week. So thank you for having me, Shags. It was a pleasure. I gotta get you on a Toxic Tuesday episode. It's overdue. So
yes,
chat. It was a pleasure seeing the familiar faces and the new ones. Stay huge, Shags. We gotta talk, and Jason, you as well.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, guys, thank you for chat. Thank you for everyone over on Rumble. Thank you guys over here on YouTube for sticking around and listening to all the tangent conversations that we had, all the pertinent conversations that we had. They're all important. They're all important. Don't worry. Tangential but important.
Thanks, Shagsy.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. Letting us dominate.
Little Shagsy with his hair bun. Look at that. He's so cute.
Little Shagsy and his ranch.
Yeah.
Oh, Shagsy and the Mango sitting in a tree.
Leave me alone.
Hey, look. Put your hair down. Put your hair down.
Jizzing.
Oh my God. This is what happens when you get in Dick's Division over here. No, it was a pleasure. I'll say, like, I got to thank you guys really, because you, Toxic Man Flu, who's probably still in chat, like him reaching out originally to jump on the show with you guys yelling at parked cars has really sort of like changed the trajectory of my content and everything. And just, you know, being able to talk with some of the people I talk to now is like truly a blessing. And like people who I used to watch as like, oh, you know, these are people I really idolize and I think they're good and they have good opinions. Like, I wish I could do what they do. Now I'm like talking to them, all of you guys and others as if they're friends. I got to talk to Carrie Smith on Wednesday on the Midweek Hump. We've had Adam Krigler around. Like, these are like heroes to me a few years ago. And now it's like we're just talking. So thank you guys.
I have no talent and I'm on a few shows.
Right.
You have great talent and you deserve it.
Oh, you know, we have to get Shagsy. Well, Shags, if he puts his hair down, over on the late night Sunday culture show. Sunday. Yeah.
You're a bot. That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
The lovely Sherry, ladies and gentlemen. The lovely Sherry.
Was that Sherry's? I didn't even notice. I love Sherry's memes.
Sherry's, she's a savage.
She's brutal.
Very.
I've never
making
hers,
friends.
I feel like hers when she does them, they're just on point. She doesn't. I don't see many of hers, but when they're on. So
savage. She cuts like it's like, hey, there's a quick whack. Okay, got it.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you for all the mods who are in chat tonight. Big help. And of course, the chat in general. This show is nothing without you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the new subs tonight. I saw a couple come in. Toxic Man Flu with the 1234 tip. I appreciate you, man. That's really awesome. Keeps me going. And of course, to my panel, thank you guys for showing up tonight. It's always a pleasure talking with you. Many more talks to come. I can't wait for more of these Twitter files to drop. They are revealing a lot of stuff we already knew, but like I said, there's way more to come, and I look forward to talking about it more with y'all. So I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you, and have a great night.
Good night, Shagsy.
Night, everybody.
Night, chat.
Toodles.
I like to put stuff online.